Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today. Our first topic of this evening, is, are women attractive to mystery? Are women attractive to mystery? Let me go ahead and play this clip.
Example of how you would pick up a woman at a bar.
I will go to a woman and say, "Good evening, madam. My name is Sandeep. And can I be your sunshine?"
You've already lost her right at the moment you said sunshine. I mean, I felt all of the pussy drying up in the room as soon as you said sunshine. All right, look, here's what you want to say. If you want to pick up a woman, you go to the bar, you say, "I'll have an espresso martini," and she'll have a sunshine cocktail. And then put it on my tab. And then you look at her, you wink, and you walk away. And now she's thinking, who's this mysterious man that just bought me a drink? And now you've got her in the palm of your hands.
Okay, so you want me to pay the money for my drink and also her drink?
Yeah, of course. It comes with the territory. You want to pick up women, you got to spend a little cash.
And not talk to her, just walk away.
Yeah, I mean, later on, you're going to establish a connection. But right now, you're just building up the air of mystery.
What if she does not talk to me? My money is gone, right?
Yes, but if you weren't so broke, you wouldn't have to worry about spending.
So how do I make money then?
You can do webcam modeling. That's a good route.
I want to do modeling.
Have you ever been a model?
Yeah.
Show me your model pose. I don't know about that one. Show me another pose. Yeah, you've got a nice smile. You know, you've got some potential. Now, take your clothes off.
Don't know about that last part, but you brought up mystery. Are women attractive to the world? Are women attracted to mystery, man? Let me go ahead and let me start with you first, Trev. What are your thoughts about that?
That was so funny.
We got to get in the on the approaches, man. That was getting a coach, and he's obviously going to lose because zero confidence, right? I don't agree with the dude that I was trying to teach either, man. Like, for real, I've had women buy me drinks first just because I said so. It depends on it. Listen, if a female is liking you, she likes your aura, it doesn't really matter what you say. You could be corny, you could be smooth. If she likes you, you come in with confidence. She likes the way you smell, she likes the way you look, she likes the way you talk. It's happening. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. As far as mystery is concerned, I always tell men, listen, don't give any information that isn't asked of you, right? Some dudes go ahead and talk too much and you will absolutely ruin it. The quickest way to walk out of some punani is to talk too much and tell too much about yourself. You don't have to hide everything, because if a female asks you some information, you go ahead and you explain, but they really would much rather you listen to them. I don't know whoever thought women were good listeners. They're not. So you just go ahead and you listen. You let them talk and you just kind of give your input of what you think and you let them talk themselves into oblivion. You don't have to say much at all. Less is more sometimes, because it's a lot easier to talk yourself out of the goodies than it is to talk your way into it. So mystery is pretty cool, but you don't have to walk away. That's just weird and rude because most women aren't aggressive enough to go ahead and follow you. I think he was giving out some seriously stupid advice, and he has a low success rate. If you ask me, that doesn't work in real life. Just don't talk your way out of it, and don't say too much. I'll end it there.
Then we'll go to Lady Di. Are women attracted to mystery? Your thoughts?
So I would say the only way that would work, what he's told him to do, is if the guy is attractive. Because no lady's just gonna follow. I'm echoing. No lady is just gonna follow a man and she doesn't like the way how he presents himself. He has to have some type of class with it. You know, may look like he has some money, and maybe they'll chase him. But I don't think that's like a success rate. What he's telling him, especially that type of guy. That type of guy that he was talking to seemed like he has more like he's uncomfortable to talk to women. So what comes out of his mouth is going to look like he's nervous. And ladies, a lot of ladies don't like that. You got to be confident when you're talking. So that's terrible advice, but it was very funny.
All right. We'll go to you, Marcus. What are your thoughts about our women attracted to mystery?
I think everybody attracted to mystery in some shape or form. I think Trev nailed it. Like, you really just don't talk yourself out of whatever's going on, right? Because a lot of times men would just get the volunteering information. What they say, being able to be in silence and feel confident is actual confidence, right? When you don't have to fill the air up with something because you're uncomfortable. When you're comfortable with yourself, you make other people comfortable. So yeah, Trev really hit every point on the head when he was talking about just don't talk yourself out of it and don't dry nobody up by just being too much.
Appreciate you. That's what I do.
All right, Precious, what are your thoughts about our women attracted to mystery?
I think women are attracted to mystery. I don't think that a man should tell a woman every single thing. I don't think a woman should know how much you make. I don't think a woman should know certain things about you. Because when they do know everything, the admiration kind of leaves. She feels like she has one up on you because she knows everything about you. So I think mystery is a good thing for men and women, but definitely for men.
Kelly Connections, I'm gonna go to you next. Are women attracted to mystery?
I would say yes. I do agree with Precious. I think everyone's attracted to mystery. I think when someone is completely open and honest in the very beginning, it's almost like people are questioning, like, why are they telling me everything? Something must be wrong, versus like they want to find out in layers. And I think when you give too much too soon, that can deter someone a lot quicker than if you let them find out or let them seek out that information. Almost not playing hard to get, because I don't believe in playing games, but like almost letting them like entreat the information from you versus, hi, I have 4 ex-wives and 17 kids and I want you to be the next one. That's very unattractive. And a lot of women will accept things from a man after they get to know them and fall for them versus learning up front and they haven't even had a chance to like them yet.
All right, I'm gonna go to Amanda. What are your thoughts about it? Are women attracted to mystery?
I absolutely think so, especially in the beginning. I'll agree with the other ladies as well, is that if a man comes out divulging way too much information too soon, it can actually be a turnoff, especially dependent upon what that information is. Not only that, but just the brain in general likes to slowly become aware of things and adapt. You give too much information too soon, it's overwhelming, and it can be a turnoff and, like you said, dry you right up.
Okay. I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna go to you, The Real. What are your thoughts about it? Are women attracted to mystery? Can you hear me okay?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking you. Are women attracted to mystery? We can't hear
I
you.
think she's on mute.
Yeah. It's not showing on mute. If you got a phone call, do me a favor. Go out and come back in because sometimes it interrupts it. Shonda, I'm going to go to you. Are women attracted to mystery?
Okay. I think my connection is off, so y'all let me hear me okay. But I would say yes. And I think it's the same vice versa, even when it comes to a man. Because what I want to say, well, I remember like when I was younger, you know, like you have those guys that's in your face with the big chains and remember the spinning rims. I was never into that. I was into more so of that guy that was sitting behind the tree reading a book, you know, behind on the bench or something. But those quiet guys are the ones that's more intriguing. And I want to say in another sense, as far as being mysterious, women are more attractive when I'm not knowing and wondering if that man is into them. Sometimes men or human as women as well sometimes could give mixed signals, and I think people may find that attractive and want to know more or have more questions about that person. Either way it goes, in you know any situation when it comes to that.
All right. I'm gonna try to real. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, 100% women like men that are mysterious, not trying to get validation, not trying to overly impress us, not just putting it all on the table all at once. People don't respect things that are given to them freely. Most of the times we want to feel like we earn it. So if you just tell a woman everything at once, she's going to feel like she already knows everything at once and like she knows you. So it just kind of takes away the excitement when you're getting to know someone. So yes, we 100% like a little bit of mystery in a guy.
But why is it like that? Like, why is it where you would want mystery? So if you're dating someone, why would you want to know like 2 months later when you could have just known the first week?
I mean, me personally, I like a person that's honest and upfront, but you don't have to tell me everything all at once. So, I mean, why? It's just because my mind likes to wonder. I don't know. I can't speak for other people, but
I
you
think
you like to think about that person. You want to leave some things to your own imagination and let things reveal themselves. So that's speaking for myself.
I think that there's a fine line though. I don't think everything should be mysterious. I don't think I would find out 2 months from now you have AIDS. Like I think people should
What?
upfront about, you know, I don't think I want to find out you have a wife 6 months from now. I think you should be honest. I think you should be clear about what you're looking for, but don't it's like don't throw up your information on me. But there are certain things I think that you should be upfront about in the beginning.
I think it's all about that person being interesting, like before you even really getting to know that person or even know that person. You know, it's just makes that person more intriguing and kind of, you know, curious about them. I've had men, well, I just want to say that there are a lot of men that are not intellectual, you know. I've had men that I had just met and just constantly just talk, you know, and never let you get a word in. And that can be a turnoff. So in that sense. So when it comes to something like that, I get what you're saying as far as too much information. Some people would just constantly talk, and you won't get a word in. And it's, you know, yeah, kind of pause.
Okay. Mr. Let Go.
Well, first I want to say, until I seen that this is some funny parody about the whatever the dude be wearing the glasses. And then I was like, oh, this is like a parody. Oh, the Andrew Tate guy. It was someone like a parody, but before that, the first thing I said was, okay, this dude is an idiot and he don't even know how to pull women. There's no way in hell I'm gonna walk up to a random woman, pay for her drink, wink at her. Who the hell winks at people and then walk away? I was like, who the hell? I don't think I've ever winked at a woman in my life. Like, who the hell does some dumb shit like that? But in my opinion,
really?
I don't know. It looks like it's a parody because who? And then the last thing,
who the hell is going to coach a dude like that? Like, I'm not talking to that person. That dude is so that's that. It has to be a parody, hopefully, right? But when it comes to the mystique, the answer, Lady Di's question, why is it that women don't want to know information that they want to know? Because it sounds crazy, right? Well, in my opinion, because I'm not a woman, women, they're very anxious little people, right?
What?
And the more a woman knows, the less anxiety she has. And there's a side of her anxiety that actually makes her excited in a way. It's almost like looking at a horror movie. You want to be scared, right? You do certain things to get a feeling, right? But if you know everything about a man, it kind of takes the fun out of trying to figure out things, right? Like, I think we all have this
games, though. That's people who
huh?
are that's for people who are playing games. If you're serious, you don't want to waste your time playing all these games with this mysterious dude that never lets you get to know him.
Okay, I want you to think about this, Kelly. You go out on a date out on a date with a guy, right? And he's really mysterious. When you go home, all you can do is think about, like, how I wonder if he's this, I wonder if he's that, I wonder, oh, I should have asked him this, I wonder this. But if he turns around and just blabs everything about himself on the first date, you may say, like, damn, okay, he's a really nice guy. But now you have so much information where you aren't intrigued anymore. See, there's intrigue. As men, I get intrigued by women, her mysteriousness, her no, instead of yes. You know, like, to us, it's somewhat the same thing. If a woman is like, yes, 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 I'll do whatever you, now we just like, all right, she's too easy, right? So we want some type of tug, some type of pull, some type of.
Are you saying to a woman to fill in the blank?
Say it again.
Are you saying to allow that woman to fill in the blank?
Yeah, like let a man or let a woman, because I think it's on both sides. Let a man or let a woman just wonder. Let them think, like, I wonder if this.
What things are they wondering about? Are they wondering if you have a wife? Are they wondering if you have 16 baby mamas? What are they? What's the mystique? Like, what are you being mysterious about?
Small things, not how many kids you got and things like that. Like, for example, is he thinking about me as much as I'm thinking about you? But if a guy calls you and says, hey, I've been thinking about you all day, now it took away that small piece of mystique where you're like, oh, damn, so he's been thinking about me more than I've been thinking about him. So does he like me more than I like him? I don't know how I feel about that.
It sounds like
Because
I don't know. I think it should be clear. I think it should be clear if you have feelings for one another. But I think there should be.
I think you guys are missing the point.
Feelings.
You're missing the point.
Come on, like walking up to somebody at a bar, first conversations, first, second, third date, like that. No feelings yet.
Right, but interested, feelings, whatever. But I think that there should be a certain pace to your relationship where you're not learning everything about the person in the first week of you showing interest in them or that they showing interest in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I met a guy one time and he was like, oh, I just found out I had twin girls. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Like, what do you mean you found out you had twin girls? Like,
that's like, the thing, Precious. You want to know that because
you
right,
know that.
But this was like we weren't even an hour into talking to each other or at the restaurant yet. Like, it was just like, whoa.
And that's kind of like
what it doesn't matter.
Like, so
but it doesn't matter because, like, if let's say you liked him right at that time, you like him, you like how he looks, all that good stuff, and then a week later you found out that he just had twins, you're gonna be pissed because you're like, damn, I wish I knew him that earlier. So certain mysterious things shouldn't be mysterious. Like, I think mysterious guys are like dangerous. Like, you don't know what's going on with them. So I don't know. It depends. I guess what level we're talking about.
Women kind of like danger though. Women like I don't know what it is about, because I'm not a woman, but women like something, whether it's danger, I don't know what the word is to use, but women like some type of unevenness, some type of rigidity, not
What?
rigidity, but some type of something where she's just like, I just can't get my finger on it, but he is something. It makes a woman feel like I have more to say the next time I see him, because there's something there that I don't really understand yet. And it makes them excited to see the man again.
Go ahead, Rick. I think Rick was trying to get in now.
It's just one of the human needs. We crave sameness, but we also crave variety. So, I mean, no one wants someone that's completely predictable.
Predictability, yeah.
And then we also don't want someone that's just completely unpredictable, where we don't have any type of safety or security. So that balance is what it's attractive, when you know enough but not too much. So I mean, I said we that's what makes it more attractive, when you know enough about a person to where you're comfortable, but then it's always gonna be something more that you don't know. And I don't think that's just women, but like I feel like men like that in women too, when a woman is not always all the same all the time.
Do y'all know women want to chase also? It's somewhat of a back and forth. The man chases, and then she feels a need to chase a little bit, and then he chases. It's kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, we want to want y'all. We want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
You know what it really all boils down to?
Again.
Emotional variety. That's what women really crave. Emotional variety. They need to fluctuate. They really want that up and down, no matter what it is. It could be because you fight a lot. It could be because they don't know anything. As long as they're able to have different strong feelings, they feel strongly towards you as the man, and they will be on your top. That's all it is. It doesn't even matter. It could be complete dysfunction, because we can't make it out like women aren't attracted to complete dysfunction half the time. We know this. As long as you have something that's going to get their emotions rattled, they with it.
I think in another sense too, people forget, well, as well as women, but a lot of men are sensitive as well. A lot of men kind of do just hold back because they don't want to put too much in the beginning. I mean, again, it's women, but we are mostly talking about men. And a lot of times they hold back as well because of that, not to put too much forward in the beginning.
And women don't necessarily want a chatterbox, a dude who just keeps talking, and women like to have things about them, right? Have the conversation about them. Have him ask a question about her, and she does all the talking, and he asks a question. She asks a question about him, and he just says something here and there, and then it goes back to her. Women are narcissists, so you gotta feed the
I don't
narcissist
agree with that at all.
of a woman.
I think it depends. Like, you have to have reciprocal energy. If you are meeting women that literally only want to talk about themselves, then okay, I agree. Sure, that's narcissistic behavior. But a woman who is truly interested in you is gonna have questions and want to hear from you just as much. She doesn't always want to talk about herself. She wants to know how your brain works as well, and how you feel as well.
But you got to give them a quick answer. You can't be a blabbermouth. So where you from? Oh, I'm from here, and I did. She gonna be like, all right, yo, I ain't asked them all. I ain't asked you all.
I agree with that. Let go. You got to be kind of vague.
Yeah.
Do men want vague answers from women then?
We don't care. We just want. We just want to see your titties.
It doesn't. It depends on what we want you for. It depends on what we want you for. Because I'm gonna
around with, or someone you want to take serious. If you're taking them serious, I think you want a serious answer.
In the beginning, we just want.
Oh yeah, well.
It sounds like game. The guy you guys are describing sounds like an unsafe person, and I know it sounds cute to say I want variety and emotional. No, when you marry somebody, you want someone that's steady, when you can rely on, depend on, someone that sounds boring because you know where they're going to be, you know when they come home, you know what time they are and where they are. I think that makes me feel comfortable. Not, oh, it's so dangerous to not know if he's coming home tonight. What the hell is that?
We gotta look at the dating process. Ain't nobody coming
it's
home. We
different.
talking about first date, first
Yeah,
meeting
'cause
somebody. Y'all talking about living with somebody and all this safety stuff. Ain't
that's
nobody talking
different.
about that when you're at the bar.
He was trying to teach him how to pick up women, right? So
Yeah,
this is
y'all
like
going too
first date
far.
type deal, the beginning.
Sex only. Is that what this is about?
No. He was just telling him how to attract women or pick up women or how to do
We
well on
are
the first
about
date,
sex
from what
in
I
the
gathered.
beginning. So all we do is we just want to see your titties when we first walk up to you at the bar. We don't give a damn about your name, no nothing. We just want to see you naked. And then probably by, within the conversation, we want to get to know you, but we don't give a damn about all that stuff.
Okay. Go ahead, Marcus. I know you try to get in there.
You just want to see if you got freckles on your ass.
Yeah, I think Kelly made a good point about the difference between like if it's gonna be for just sex or if it's for a relationship, because that is two different things. Like when you just trying to have sex, you're not really concerned about what somebody's saying. As long as you're attracted to them, that's the goal, right? You're just trying to get to where you're trying to get to. But if you're trying to get to know somebody for more than that, yeah, it is a cat and mouse game that's played, but it's not in a way that, you know what I mean, it may sound a little toxic the way we describing it, but it's not. It's just the healthy exchange between our energies, right? It's male and female energies intersecting and like push and pull till y'all get to a place where you want to be in that relationship. So I agree. I think it's like layers though. Like for me, I'm like a kind of complex person, so it's layers to me. You get the peeling back one, you're like, damn, I ain't know it was another one there, and another one there, and another one there. So it's like the mystery kind of built in by the fact that it's layers. But a lot of people, what you see, what you get. You know what I'm saying? So they would have to put that together where it's a lot of mystery in order for that to work effectively for them.
And I'm okay with mystery if it's like, oh, it's a surprise. Like, oh, this is a good thing I found out. But I don't want to find out, like, if you have an STI, I think that's something you should let someone know in the beginning. That is it curable? Like, what's going on? Not, hey, do you have an STI? You know what? I'll tell you next week. Like, that's what
May not have it next week.
But that's what I'm saying. What is the mystery? That's what I want to know. Like, how exactly does that work? What are you being mysterious about?
I said it earlier, how you feel about that person initially. Say you sit down with someone on the first date, right? Did the date go well in their mind? You may like, yo, that date, the date went great. I wonder how he feels about it. Now, if he starts black, oh, I love the date and we had so much fun. Now, like, no, you don't tell him, like, you don't tell her, like, yo, I really had a great time.
So like holding back on your emotions in the beginning. Don't let them know how you feel until you know for sure.
It's not really about it's not something that you do on purpose. If you don't ask me how the date went, I'm just not going to tell you how the date went because nobody asked me. It's like, if I don't ask you what time it is, you're not going to tell me what time it is.
All right, I can rephrase this, Kelly.
It's just not about revealing everything.
Yeah.
It's not revealing everything. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be all this extreme thing about all these kids and baby mamas and stuff. It's your personality, your hobbies, your life story. You don't have to reveal every single thing right up front. You can leave certain parts out. Let it unfold. That's basically what he's getting at.
So you're saying don't have an elevator speech of your whole life on the first date.
Yeah, that's part
be
of
overwhelming.
It
could be like those
nuances.
It's emotionally
also,
draining.
Yeah.
Man. Have you ever met somebody that you went on a date with and then they talk so much that you were unattracted by the end of the date?
But y'all taking it to the extreme. Y'all talking about somebody talking so much. I'm talking about a regular conversation. You speak, I speak, and we just go back and forth with questions. And whatever the person reveals when he answers the question should be honest. Y'all talking about something like it's just he don't tell you nothing. And and if he talks too much, I don't even think it should be like that. When you dating to marry, you need to know stuff. And I'm not saying you gotta know everything at the first date. Like that's kind of crazy, but you want to ask questions and they're supposed to answer it. If he holds
if you ask the question though, I'll answer the question. I'm just not going to give you unsolicited information about me.
Right.
Like, for example, like if you're on a date with someone and they're asking you, why are you still single? Why didn't your last relationship work out? Instead of you like going into all the details, oh, he did this, he did that, he did that. You can just say, I've grown, I moved on, things didn't work out. Like, that's leaving mystery. Not, oh, he cheated, he did this, he did that, she did that. Is we didn't work out, we were in different places, I moved on. It could be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be so extreme. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's just letting that person that you're on the date with, you may never see them again. So why give them all those details about yourself? Like, I feel like, I personally be like, people need to earn learning about me. And the more you get around someone, then you can reveal that as you go. But it doesn't have to be all done at once. That's the mystery there. Like, make them want to know more. Like, why are you giving it all to them on the table? Just like these men are saying, they're initially there just to have sex. So, like, why are you giving them all this info? Like,
Don't
Like
want
if
to.
I first go ahead.
he don't even care. He's not gonna remember. Now, if you get to that third, fourth date, then that's when you start giving more information. If y'all are aligned and your goals of where y'all trying to go. But first date, we just trying to have a good meal, see if we got chemistry or not, and take it from there. And women, we like that too. We don't want to know about all that extra drama, whatever you got going on, whether it's in work or whatever.
Well, I see it two ways. I agree with you said, real on some parts, but the other part would be you want to know because it would save you time. Because if you found out at the first date, you ain't gonna date him the second, third, fourth. It ain't gonna be nothing. It'll be like, okay, cool, I can move on. I don't like that. You don't have to know. I mean, you don't have to know right up front, but it's kind of like you're not being mean. But if he says these things, you don't want that. All right, cool. I'm gonna go next week. I'll date somebody else and see if they have these qualities that I want instead of wasting time. I think it's like wasting time. And then now we're like 40, not married.
I
I
know.
know. That's your
Women
vetting
be looking
process.
for a free meal.
You gotta
So
vet.
her knowing all this stuff and she turned off on him, that's going to kind of like deprive her of a free meal. You gotta understand the word female was derived from free meal. Take the E and the A out.
I know by a text message that a guy wasn't for me. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, how that text was, it was more so, what was it? He, how you respond with the question mark and a heart on. So he responded with the question mark. So, and that was the end of our, I didn't hear anything else from him. So right there, it kind of just showed me that he has a lack of communication skills. And I knew that's something I didn't want. But,
Why were
so
y'all texting and not talking?
yeah, but it can only be a text. It can be a text. And you don't even have to have verbal communication to know
I'm not
that.
just texting no woman I just met, like, because I don't know you and you don't know me, like, because text is the tone of a text can come out wrong. I send an emoji, you might think I'm being weird or something. I'm not going through all that. I'm gonna get on the phone until we get to know each other.
You text and talk so you can see if the person is able to have a conversation, like they're able to speak properly, like you interviewing them. So I'm not saying all of this is for everybody. It depends on how your dialect is. Okay, this is just per scenario. Sometimes you want to know how they speak on a text. Are they still texting like they're in high school, or are they texting like they're professional? You know what I'm saying? You want to know these things. It's not gonna determine everything, but at least you have an idea who you about to meet.
That determined everything, because I actually tried to go through, as far as getting to know him more. And what I knew in the beginning from the text message showed everything, because it was true. Like, no type of communication skills at all. So yeah, it could be something as simple as that cut it off.
I think another thing that we passing by is the different stages in your life, right? So when women are younger, they typically will want a more mysterious guy. As they get older, they'll probably settle into wanting a more stable and secure person, because they see and I think it's for men too. Like when we're younger, we're looking for, like we said, just sex a lot of times. So it's the stages that you are in life that this comes into play more so than not.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, but when you're young, you're more apt to play games. So this sounds like a game. I personally like communication. I don't find it unattractive if a man talks all night. My idea of a perfect date is we talk until the sun rises.
You talking, right? You
No,
talking.
both of us.
Oh, us talking. Okay.
But
I agree.
a lot of this mystery, I would find out over the phone. I wouldn't even want to meet with you. Us meeting to see if we have chemistry in real life, I'd be asking all these questions over the phone before
I agree with you on that. I don't necessarily care about just going out with a woman that I don't damn know, because you're not going to waste my money and waste my time. I could be at home making money. So I ain't finna just be taking you out for no damn reason I don't know you. So I agree with you on Kelly. We finna be on the phone talking, and then I'm gonna see if your ass is worth me leaving my house.
So your ass. You guys just tuned.
Lapeef JR, what do you think? Do women like mystery?
Yeah, I think they like mystery.
Anything to back that up, or just
see? That's mystery right there.
Answer.
Good
Exactly.
job, JR. That's what men's supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think you plan. I think either you are mysterious or you're not. So it's just something that you just really can't explain. Like, I don't even think people even promote that they are mysterious. It's typically people you encounter, and they are the ones to actually describe that for you. And so it's like, oh, okay. I think mysterious people, they just live their life regular. And if you just got it, you don't.
Just like when I'm out, I'm not gonna tell her who I am. I'm Aaron, and I'm not gonna lie about, like,
what are you talking about?
Making up something, but I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, I do this and do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. We just gonna have a conversation. I'm like, I might just say, yeah, I got my own business, and then that's really it. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I do this and I do that. Nope.
So then when she's on her phone and she'd be like, dang, isn't this you? What you gonna say? Oh yeah, that's me.
I'm like, yeah, I didn't lie. I just didn't say what I did. I said I own my own business. I ain't lie, but I'm not gonna sit here and just go down a rabbit hole of what I do. I'm just
Lady died like, did you? Did you?
I'm joking, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Let's let go.
Yeah.
You ever been on a date and somebody pulled out one of your clips and it was like, women are children? It's like, bro, can you explain this to me?
I had a woman, me and a woman had a great rapport. It was like a networking event, right? And we was having a great conversation and everything was great, right? But it was a lot of things in a conversation, we didn't talk about each other's life story, but she had like 2 kids, but I didn't know nothing else or whatever. And when we, because she ended up asking me what I did or whatever, and I told her. And I say about the next day, because we were talking on the phone every now and then or whatever. And then I say about 3 days later, she was like, hey, I can't date you. Like you're really dope, but from what I watched on social media, I feel like you're talking about me. She's like, so I was like, good, because that's my thing right there. You did your homework. I didn't have to sit here and just blab all this other stuff. So you kind of like just exit yourself out and you save me some time. So I'm like, good, but I didn't say it.
Let's select though. You date women with kids?
Yeah, I date women with kids, but if you got 2 kids and 4 baby daddies, I don't want you.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this though. The only thing that should be mysterious to me is, for men especially, is your money. Like, don't come to the date talking about I got this and that, and you're gloating about your dollars. Keep that mysterious. Nobody should know that, because then you're gonna be picking up gold diggers versus a real person that really likes you for you. So.
All right. Yeah, we got to transition. Guys, just tune in. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. So make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me go ahead and get to these super chats. Fatima. Show up. Fatima says, $4.99. Mystery in a man is not attractive to me. I prefer my man to lead. If he is mysterious, I will be walking down a path blindfolded, and it's a no for me. Still low key, $21 says, any woman who sees openness as a problem is the problem and just wants someone who plays games. Men with games should be a red flag.
Thank you.
Still low key, don't get no women.
Accountability partner $5 says, I love Lady Di. Spot on, ma'am. Spot on. Put it on the table and see if it works. If I don't see you again, did it matter? Ink in the basement, $2. Mr. Let Go is full of shit. too much ass juice.
Wait, pause.
The
What?
accountability partner $5 says, "My bad. What's up, panel? My dude Marcus and Trev. Kelly, nice to see you in these streets. I still will never agree with Mr. Let Go no matter what." Accountability partner again $2 says, "Remember, Mr. Let Go single. His points are moot on this." And lastly, accountability partner again $2 says, "4 kids, 2 baby daddies, but he'll eat your booty." Yeah, just tuning in again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Moving on to our next topic of this evening, which is
Taste.
what'd you say?
I was asking Mr. Let Go, how does it taste?
What, booty?
Yeah.
Depends
Okay.
on the woman. Sometimes it tastes like
we got some kids watching, y'all.
tastes like what she ate. So
18 watching.
I like women who eat good. So tastes like vegetables, strawberries, peaches.
Right. Okay. Singles at 41. Woman speaks on dating after 40. Let me go ahead and get this clip. I thought I had it together. Here we go. Right. Yeah.
In my 20s, I would not have thought that I would be single and dating at 41.
Yeah.
You have all these ideas of what it's going to be. You done planned out the old fairy tale wedding. You done got your kids' names. And you don't see it, that I'm going to be single at 41. But when I think back, I was not doing the things that were preparing me for marriage in my 20s. I wasn't doing the things that were preparing me for marriage in my early 30s. And so, am I happily single? Absolutely yes, because I make the most amazing life for myself. But is there a desire for partnership and togetherness? And baby, I know I'm coming home to you every single night. Yes.
All right, let's talk about a woman speaks on dating after 40.
Can I go first?
A little bit rough. Go ahead, Mr. Let Go.
You can go first, second, and last.
That's Steve Harvey's daughter, right? And this man is running around telling all these random women how to find a man, and you can't help your own goddamn daughter find a damn man. That's kind of sad. Like when your daughter jumps up and says, "Ain't nobody never taught me shit, and I don't know what the hell I'm out here doing," and Steve Harvey is your daddy. What in the hell? That is probably the worst credibility that I've ever heard from a man in a relationship space. I wish my kids would jump up there and say, "Ain't nobody taught me nothing. I don't know what I'm doing, and I had to figure out on my own." What kind of father is that? God damn, you teaching all these damn women how to find a man. You can't sit down and talk to your goddamn daughters about how to find a man? I just had to say that. That's some bullshit.
Well, was her mother around? I mean, I don't know how many. I know Steve Harvey was married a few times.
The
But
mother
a lot
don't
of times,
count. It's
well,
about
if
the
the mother
dad.
is a wife, it
Okay.
counts because she has an
Yeah,
example
the first wife,
of
he wasn't close with them kids.
That makes sense. But that's
yes,
his biological daughter right there.
right. But where's her biological mother? Is what I'm
Where's
saying.
her biological daddy? I look at the dad, and why don't you have your daughter right next to you, like you got your little stepdaughter that's running around holding around with all these movie stars and shit, and your other daughters actually need you, and they trying to actually find love while your little whole stepdaughter running around just trying to get some I don't know, likes on a pic or some shit. What the hell? I'm just saying, because he all up under Lori Harvey, but your actual daughter who's 41 and is having problems and literally says, in my 20s I had problems, in my 30s I had problems. Where is this nigga? I know where he at, next to Lori Harvey, taking pictures.
He's on Family Feud.
She's crazy. Crazy. No way hell my daughter will come up on a social media platform and say that shit. Because I'm in my kid's face. I was with my kids today. In my kid's face.
All right.
Well, at this point, she's grown. So, father or no father, you still got to take certain actions that's going to get you the results you want. So, and
Hashtag
she
no
knows.
father.
You said what?
I said hashtag no father.
Right. And a
apparently
lot of
she
us
didn't
didn't.
have
A
a
lot of
father.
us didn't have our fathers, and a lot of us, didn't make those right choices. But
But I'm just saying
as
she
an
did
adult,
go. That's all I'm saying.
but he wasn't there because that's exactly what she said, that she didn't have that guidance. So that's probably part of why she made those choices that she did make, is from not having the proper guidance. So, but as an adult, you have free will, so it's on you to make the right actions. You can't just keep looking back and talk about what happened in the past and what didn't happen. You just have to make those choices going forward.
I'm just saying her daddy don't need to be on nobody goddamn TV. If you are the daughter of that man, and he's running around saying all this shit to these other people, and your daughter is admitting that she had problems for 2 decades, what the fuck? I'm just saying that shit just pissed me off. I'm a father, so I'm sorry.
Well, it's obviously clear that Mr.
But it's
Levin
like,
don't like Steve Harvey, so I think we got the memo.
No, I hate crappy fathers. I hate crappy fathers is what I'm saying. I'm a father first before I'm anything else.
Maybe he told
this
her
is
to have.
true, but every father is not perfect, even if you are there. Every father is not perfect, and I think that when you don't have a father, whether you have a father or not, as a growing adult, you have to realize that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're continuing to do something over and over and over again, you can't blame mom and dad for not being there. You have to be accountable for your actions. And so when she was talking about being prepared for marriage, a lot of women don't know how to practice monogamy by themselves before they actually get to monogamy. It's not something that they're practicing. Most women don't even want to serve a man a plate. She don't want to do things that wives do. So she's going to continue to be this girlfriend or this side chick or this woman that's just not prepared for marriage, and she's going to sound like Steve Harvey's daughter, who's talking about all her troubles in her 20s and 30s, like she wasn't the one making those decisions. So after a while, you have to ask yourself, okay, what exactly do I want in life? And how do I prepare myself to get there? And for one, like I always say, you got to be real with yourself. You have to be real with yourself before you try to be real with a man, before you try to be real with your parents, before you try to be real with your friends. You have to be real with yourself because you are the one that's going to be in that situation. Nobody's going to live that life for you.
All right. I'm gonna bring I'm gonna drop down and bring Alex up here so he can respond on this too in the back.
Is my mic working?
Alex.
Hello.
Hey.
I genuinely didn't expect to actually brought on. I just thought it was quite an interesting point. Most of the time, kids don't listen to their parents. How many times, Mr. Let Go, do your kids actually listen to everything you say and do exactly what you ask them to do? If they do that, mate, you are smashing it and good. But kids have their own mind. They do their own thing and they think they know best. That's just growing up. I have taken it. I'm a man child myself. I'm 35 and don't even know how to shave. Look at this. Oh, because my dad never taught me. No, it's just life. You teach yourself these things. I taught myself how to shave. I just don't have a razor at the moment. I think we accountability is massive. So I should have gone out to the shop because I knew I was having a show today. I should have bought myself a razor. I should have shaved my face, but I didn't because I would rather sit and play video games. It's just about being honest. Life is about just being open, honest, I think. Not being mysterious, being honest. Honesty is key to everything. And if
So
you're
Alex,
interesting, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
No, go for it, man. I'll talk forever. I'm one of those blabbers, unfortunately.
I just want to say this. It's not about what I taught my daughters, is about how I led my daughters. I lead by example, and that causes my kids to want to find a man that is somewhat like their father. You feel me? So that gives them a certain type of a discernment, so they won't waste so many years of their lives just dating bums, because that girl has been dating somebody, right? So overall, if there's no structure or no fundamentals of dating, she's going to find herself in all these half-ass relationships, and now she's in her 40s. And because if you Because some girls are just like, no, I don't care about getting married. I'm too young, whatever. She literally said, I envision myself being married. But her dad, in my opinion, did not help her or support that vision and gave her the certain amount of discernment or structure. So the type of men that she spends time with are marriage-minded men, or get rid of the man that's not marriage-minded.
Or what if it's the flip side of the coin? What if she was around her dad and experienced a high standard of man, and the men these days aren't measuring up? What if your daughters can't teach men? Let go.
A man of a certain stature would introduce their daughter. They would link their daughter up with somebody.
Really?
You feel me?
From a child, yeah. From when they're young, they're already picking, okay, because they have friends, right? Most parents have friends. They have friends with children. So you raise your kids up with people that's like you, then you're able to kind of like, okay, I like the way how this man is being raised. Maybe he could be the one for my daughter. That's called like arranged marriage. That's what they do sometimes. It works.
Sometimes.
And one of my daughters are married, and he is just like me.
So wait. How old are you, Mr. Lego? Sorry, that age isn't really a matter, but you don't look old enough to have a daughter that's married, so I'll give you a round of applause.
He's a millennial.
I identify as 27. I am a millennial.
Top man. Top man.
I identify as a millennial.
I identify as a millionaire. Doesn't mean it's real.
So we mad at Steve Harvey for being a bad husband, his first marriage, and like we're faulting him for what he didn't know and
what he didn't know. Well, he was young and dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
I was young and dumb. I didn't know.
I mean, people learn at their own pace. They, you don't know where they come from, their background, but wherever he was at that point in time in his life, and whatever he went through with his wife at that time and raising them children, we're faulting him for his mistakes. And the fact,
no, I'm just looking at, see, to me, and this is just me as a father, I've seen certain nuances in, she was sad also. She wasn't just talking. I seen the sadness in her verbiage. You feel me? If y'all play it again, y'all will see it. And it's a frustration. And it may be me, but I sense sadness and frustration and regret and possibly resentment. And she was just like, yo, I just didn't know this. And she's just like, fuck, man. Like, if this nigga would have been in my damn life, I probably would have been straight. You know what I'm saying? I just felt it. Now I might be wrong.
In my 20s, I would not have thought that I would be single and dating at 41.
Yeah.
You have all these ideas of what it's going to be. You done planned out the fairy tale wedding. You done got your kids' names. And you don't see it, that I'm going to be single at 41. But when I think back, I was not doing the things that were preparing me for marriage in my 20s. I wasn't doing the things that were preparing me for marriage in my early 30s. And so, am I happily single? Absolutely yes, because I make the most amazing life for myself. But is there a desire for partnership and togetherness? And baby, I know I'm coming home to you every single night. Yes.
Anybody?
All right. I was on that. Go ahead, Marcus.
I don't know. I would have questions about that, right? Like, so what work do she think she needed to do at 20 that she didn't do? I'm just curious if anybody could help me on that. And the second thing is,
training.
Do women believe in manifestation to the point where if you're constantly screaming, I'm happy single and I'm happy being by myself, do you create that reality for yourself based off decisions you might unconsciously be making because you're affirming that choice?
She did that, and she confirmed that she's making the best life for herself, but she has a desire, which means that the life that she is building for herself, she's not truly happy in it. She may like the life, she may be able to afford everything that she needs to live comfortably, but she desires to have someone with her. She desires to come home to somebody. And so that's what she's being honest about. That's what she's holding herself accountable for. And then she's saying, hey, look, I didn't prepare to be a wife. And so this is where I am now.
Do you think possibly before she remixed her verbiage, she could have been the same person yelling, "I don't need a man. I'm good
No,
by
you gotta
myself.
be happy,
I don't
Marcus,
need
as a
you. I
single
want
person.
I
you."
Don't
think
you think so?
so because
I
it
think
it it feeds it feeds her reality. It feeds
I
her
think she
reality of
makes
not
sense.
having a man.
But you gotta be happy as a single person. No?
I think you do need to be happy as a single person, but I don't know the way it was worded. It just I would have questions, right? I can't put or place anything on her because I don't know much about the young lady. I didn't even know she was Steve Harvey's daughter, but I'm just curious about that because I really wish she could have spoke to what she because at this point, right? You're looking on something saying you're remiss about what happened in your 20s and 30s. What is that thing that you're remiss about, and what could you tell younger women to not end up in that same situation so you could pay it forward? That's I would be curious about that. Maybe y'all got thoughts on what those things are and what she could have done.
It was an
It
hour
sounds like
interview, so
I don't really have the context, but it sounds like she did what a lot of women do, which is I'm young, I'm gonna focus on my career. I'm not really focusing on marriage. I don't know if I'm getting it right or wrong, but just putting that energy into your career because she's saying she didn't do it then, so she's looking back as if now I need to do certain things that I didn't do. So what were you doing? You were having fun, traveling, focusing on your career, not doing those wifely duties or just preparing yourself for being a wife. I don't know. That's what it sounds like.
How do
She
you
could have
prepare
also
yourself for
seen
being?
her
Oh, sorry.
dad go through failed relationships and could have told herself she didn't want
Exactly.
that. This is not the life that I want. I'm gonna just focus on me. And now that she's 41, middle age,
He's like, you
is
need
like, I'm
someone
tired
now. Yeah.
to go home and put somebody in the bed at night.
I just want to say this: if I mute you, it's not to silence you, but it's for the feedback. So everybody just mute in between, because sometimes we get feedback. All right, go ahead, Amanda. What are your thoughts about it, man?
I think it could have a lot to do with what she was exposed to young. So whether her father was around or her mother wasn't around, there's a lot of subconscious programming that actually happens. And because of that programming that is constantly running, in the background, you as are not always aware of the decisions that you are making are a repetitive cycle to what you've been exposed to or what your brain has put in place as a coping mechanism for safety. So she's saying, in her 20s and her 30s, she feels like she wasn't doing the things to be a wife. I can tell you in my 20s and 30s, not necessarily making the right decisions to be a wife, but yet at the same time, I don't think I was ready to be a wife because of behaviors that were already toxic from my own childhood. And so sometimes until you start to heal, go to therapy, address areas that you need to work on first before you can put yourself in a relationship or a marriage that's going to be successful, it's going to be a repetitive pattern. It really ultimately starts with you first. And I think for this young woman, whatever it was she was doing, whether it was her career or she was having fun, I think later on she has seen like, well, I did want to be married and yet here I am. I think as a woman, we do have this expectation to some degree that you're going to get married and in your, midlife that there is going to be someone there. And suddenly, if that's not what has happened, that isn't the path, then you're going, well, what should I have done or what could I have done? But yet at the same time, maybe waiting is one of the best things that could have happened to you because you never know. You could be on your third divorce at that point or find the love of your life at 50. Like, I feel like putting a timeline on things isn't, always the right thing to do. Because who you are in your 20s is not who you are in your 30s, and it's not who you are in your 40s, and
All right.
so on.
Hey, Lady Di, did you go ahead? Marcus, I saw you wanted to say something.
No, to Amanda's point, I mean, I hear what you're saying. All of us go through things and all of us do need to work on ourselves before we get into a serious relationship. But you know, there's some instances where if we keep waiting and waiting and waiting, oh, I'm not ready yet, then sometimes it just doesn't happen because you're not thinking in a marriage mindset. You're thinking more like, okay, well, it's just me, so I'm going to do these things, and you know, you're not setting yourself up for marriage. So you know, you kind of have to make decisions on dating more and being more proactive in that way, and not always giving it up. Kind of like just, you know, practice dating, see like what type of guys do you like. Because sometimes us women, we don't really know what we like in the beginning, especially when we're 20. We're just like, oh, I like this. This looks cute, but no, that's not what I like. You know, you have to kind of like understand what's going on. So you have to practice, you have to see what's out there. And then you just have to kind of grow up quick. You know what I'm saying? You keep waiting, then you're gonna be 40 years old, right? Some people don't have kids, right? And some people want kids. But you know, you don't want to wait so late, because when you have kids at an older age, you're going to be an older parent. You know, you might not be there for them. You know, some kids need their parents, but we're too old to raise them, you know? So it's kind of like, you know, you just make better decisions and just kind of move forward in your life, and, you know, just figure out how you can be in someone's life and make it work. It don't have to be a toxic relationship because you had a toxic childhood. You know, sometimes you could learn from each other. Whatever that person could bring could help you. You know, you just got to kind of figure out what that person looks like and just make it work out.
All right. Other connections you want to get in there?
So I don't know why it's always like a negative on the father. I think I already said it. What if he showed her a higher standard, a higher caliber of man, and she just didn't meet anybody that met the type of father that she had? I don't really know their relationship situation. I know, was it the real lady? She said that he wasn't really in her life, but I know that my father was a very high caliber man. He showed us a high standard, and men just aren't lining up to that these days. So I have sisters that are still virgins because no guy wants to wait to have sex anymore. And that's not anything wrong with my sisters. That's just her standard. So she has to drop her standard because guys don't want to wait till marriage. But that used to be a standard. I think the bar dropped so far, it's on the freaking ground. It's like, how low can you go? Can we do the limbo? And you just want us, oh, let's just get married because that's what they say we should do. But who are you lining yourself up for life? Someone with low standards that can't even hold their penis in place until you get married?
Kelly, everything you said is a whole bunch of crap.
And I appreciate your opinion, but they're like assholes and armpits. Everybody has them and they all stink.
When you, no matter who it is, if a woman, whether it's looks, whether it's personality, whether it's cooperativeness, especially if she has a high profile daddy or a dad that is in her life, she's going to find a match for her. So what you just said is a very good chance that.
What do you call a match? Because he has a penis and calls himself a man?
No, like
I think I'm a girl, let's get married. It's a match. A lot of things have to align when you decide who you're gonna spend the rest of your life with.
Well, you start off about sex. You said the person in your family did not want to have sex, and all these men just want to have sex. A man would easily wait for whoever this woman is in your family, because I don't want to just say who she is or whatever. If she was worth it, and I'm not saying she's not worth it, but we got to look at the person's point or place in the dating market, in the sexual marketplace, right? So, because if a woman is like this versus this, a dude will wait. But if she's over here, the dude ain't gonna wait because she probably is something, you know? So you got to look at that. We can't just sit here and say none of these men want to do this and do that. Men would easily wait for a woman to have sex if she's worth waiting for, especially if she has a dad in her life, and the dad, to a certain degree, and set the the guy up with a girl, he ain't gonna want to have sex with her because he was set up by her dad. So it's scenarios that a dude can wait to have sex. Don't think all men are just like this. No, we're just like this with the women who are open to it.
That's true.
So it could be like either, and this is just to any lady that is like what Kelly's talking about, not specifically to who she's talking about, but in general. So if it's like, sometimes picking or being attracted to a certain type of dude, some people, oh, well, he has his stuff together. That means he's a good man. No, it doesn't. It just means that he has his stuff together. You got to find a good person and look at the characteristics of a good person. And we all should know what that look like, because if let's say you talk about well, my dad or my mom, they're good people. This is what it looks like. You have to find that same thing in somebody else, and you could start there. That doesn't mean that they're going to be good for you, but that's the start. Sometimes we're just picking off of looks. Well, he's so attractive. I only date men that have a nice smile. I don't date nothing else besides that. Or you might miss out if you're looking at materialistic things. So sometimes it could be who she's picking, or what Mr. Let Go said, it could be the other way. I don't know. I don't know the person.
I don't care. And who she's turning down. She may turn down a good guy. I'm sure most women have been in a relationship with the guy of her dreams, and either she wasn't ready for that guy, or she got scared of that guy because she didn't have enough self-worth in herself to actually be with a good guy. I was talking to a woman in my coaching group, and she admitted that she had a need to be right all the time, right? And the first thing I said was, okay, if you have this insatiable need to be right, how would you feel being with a man that's smarter than you, better than you, more adept than you, and he's always right because he's just so much smarter than you? What would you do with yourself? And she literally was like, I don't know, that probably would drive me crazy. And that's an example of what women do. Some women have some issues in their head, but they try to blame the man for the problems, but it's in her head. Because if you get with a man that's smarter than you, better than you, more competent than you, and you have the need to be right, you can't be with that man.
Or she can evolve to be as smart and as clever and as competent as that man, and she can learn from him and learn from the relationship.
If she allows herself to do that.
Yeah, and that so the fault, as you say, is on her in that essence, because we're all put here to learn, to grow, to develop and experience things. That's why I believe we're put on this planet. And if you're not growing, then what are you actually doing? We should always be learning. You should always be adapting. You should always be growing. And I do believe that that's kind of like what you're saying. So your coaching is did you say you're coaching this person?
Yeah, I coach women.
Okay, what? That's crazy. Like I wouldn't even begin to try and coach or know where to coach a woman, because I'm not a woman. Like, no offense to you, I'm not a woman, so I don't know how they actually think, and I like it that way because it's mysterious. But if you think and you are able to coach a woman, then doesn't that make things quite difficult for you, because you're going to be second guessing most of the people that you're spending time with anyway, because you think you know what they're thinking in a way?
Well, I don't know anything.
Okay, I like that.
That is one of my mantras. I know nothing. So I go into every situation not knowing anything, because I don't want to know so I can learn. I like to have the capacity to learn versus all this knowledge to tell to another person, and it's not about not being able to lead a woman, but I need to know what that woman needs for me to be able to lead her. So I need to go in open-minded with a I know nothing mentality.
I like that. That's cool. Okay. I just find it really interesting. Your job intrigues me a little bit. It'd be something that I find quite interesting. So.
Thank you.
So that know nothing attitude just doesn't work on the show, right?
What do you mean?
All right, but all when it comes to this show,
Hey man, I'm just me. I'm just
That's all you, Mr. Let Go. That's all you can be. That's all you can be.
exactly.
Be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable
Yeah,
with who you
like
are.
Marcus said, I have a lot of layers. I'm mysterious, Kelly.
He's like an onion.
No, you're not.
Let me go ahead and get Trev moving there. Go ahead, Trev.
All right.
I have one thing to add though. Just speaking on the Steve Harvey situation. So his first marriage didn't work out and he wasn't the best husband, which means he wasn't the best father. So maybe she just was a product of her environment. Like you didn't see love in, the most healthiest way. You didn't have that example of your mother working out things with her husband, overcoming those challenges. So you didn't have those skills. Like, how do you didn't have that? So how can you just expect to, like, obviously that's why she didn't do it right, because she wasn't talking.
I'm divorced from my kids'
right.
mom.
So you
But
think that
I mean, but she was
I'm
a
divorced
product of her
also,
life.
just like Steve Harvey.
I'm not saying that it has to be that way, but it was a result. It is a possibility. It's something that's more likely to happen. When you grow up in a broken household, then you're going to create another broken household a lot of times.
I broke my kids' household.
So
not always.
What? I'm in my kids' face on a normal basis to keep them supported and uplifted.
So you're saying a person?
Do you have a good relationship with the kids' parents? Sorry, Trevor, I know you're trying to speak. So with the mother of your children, Let Go, do you have a good relationship, a good working relationship with them, with her? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So that's important. I come from a broken home. My parents got divorced when I was 5. My sister's a 30-year-old successful single woman. I am a 35-year-old multiple dating male that can't hold down a relationship. And it's just one of the, well, I can hold down a relationship. That's the wrong word. But when things start to get difficult, I resort to, oh, well, bye. Does that make sense? And that's not a horrible thing. It's just a defense mechanism.
What's difficult,
because I seen my dad leave when I was 5.
You able to delineate what the difficulty is?
Am I able, in what way?
You said when things get difficult, is it always something different or is it always something the same? And
so my issue is I actually don't like being how do I explain? I like to do my own thing. I like my own space. I like my own time. I like to be able to just be me. And I do think a relationship works when two people just come together and those two parts work together and they still have their own lives, but their own lives work together. Does that make sense?
I would disagree.
Okay. Sorry.
Women need someone to lead them. And if you're just moving around doing what you want to do, and it's kind of like she's just like, okay, so what are we doing?
But if she's doing what she wants to do in her life, so she's supposed to do what
she wants to do. She's supposed to do what you are leading
and then you
her to do.
No, I'm not. No, I don't believe that you're there to lead, because there are definitely. I don't believe in gender-specific roles. I believe that we're all human, so that's the base element. So you could find a woman with the exact same traits as you, Let Go, and she would challenge you to the nth degree, and you might find that amazing. But then again, you might
wouldn't see that amazing.
Okay, that's fair. Some people don't like that. I like to be challenged. I like someone that's going to push me to be a better version of myself, because
you can't push yourself to be your better version of yourself. You're supposed to push yourself. Your mirror is supposed to push you, not a woman.
This is true. This is true. But if you actually look at life, there's always someone that sets the pace, and then there's always someone that wins the race.
You set the pace.
Yeah, I know.
You want a woman to set the pace?
No, but I want a woman to keep up. I want a woman to want to take over for a bit.
You ain't doing nothing. You say you like to do what you want to do. Like, so you're not going in a particular direction. So how is she supposed to keep up with somebody that's moving around everywhere?
Okay, that's a very fair point. That is a very fair point. But when you mean moving around everywhere, I mean, when I say I like to do my own thing, I like to be able to take my dog out for a walk and not have to worry about going out for a walk with the significant other as well as the dog. I like to be able to
talk about taking a dog out for a walk. We talking about life decisions.
Well, life decisions you make together. That's just like I'm talking about. I like a bit of space. I like to be able to have my free time. I don't think you need to be joined at the hip in a relationship. That's what I'm trying to get.
He doesn't want nobody needy, like always wanting to be around him all the time. Like he wants to, like, if you got 7 days in a week, he want to spend time with you maybe 4 of the days, right?
You'd be lucky if you got 2. But yeah, no, it's not that bad. But I genuinely believe that we're meant to come together and have children. I don't believe we're meant to come together and actually have a serious relationship. I believe we are. I'm sorry, you guys can. I'm just gonna blow this out. That we're not.
This is the reason why we got so many fatherless children now. Folks just want to. Shit is crazy.
You sound like you don't even like women. Do you?
No, I
even
love
like
women. I love women.
What are y'all hearing?
I mean, the
How y'all get that he don't like women out of that?
I mean, the company of a woman. There's some men.
The
that
company of the woman, like. I can,
but there are also so y'all sound like the needy ones. Like there's some people who,
I'm cool. You can
I
have
am needy. I need a woman. Yes, I'm needy, wanty, all that stuff. Yes, I want to be with a woman, around a woman. Yes,
all the time, 100% of the time.
If we end up getting married, I'm gonna be around you all the damn time. So I got to get used to being around you all the time before we get married.
Do you want her breathing down your neck your podcast?
We're not talking about breathing. She could be in the other room while I'm over here. She can be in one room and I could be in this room.
But what I'm means when it isn't like that. That's what I'm trying to get you. That's her giving you space. There are people out there that would want to be sat literally to your right hand side right now. Just
you said you don't want to be around a woman number 2 times a week.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke. I said 2. I wasn't being deadly serious. So I have a partner. Me and my partner spend most of our time together. Today I said, do you mind going home so I can have some time to myself? She kind of got upset. We nearly had an argument. We both held it together. We didn't have our argument because we always have an argument when we come to leave each other, because she gets anxiety and then that causes me to get anxiety because I mirror her anxiety.
Why are you mirroring her?
Because it's not that I'm mirroring her. I mirror anybody that I'm with. It's just a trait that I have. I pick up on energy levels. I pick up on cues and everything that's going on around.
You don't regulate her anxiety instead of
I try,
being
but
anxious because she's anxious.
It's very difficult. I know it's fine. I try, but I find it difficult. We all have our own ishes. Does that make sense?
I got you.
So
why should I would love to help. I would love to help. I would love to help.
Wait, I want to
Not send him a DM.
But
how about you compromise it? Like instead of telling, okay,
you coach women.
I love that. This is great because
I coach men and women.
Oh, do you? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I could. How many men do you have on your books, Mr. Letgo?
Yeah, let us know.
I have a women's coaching group, but I coach men literally every 3 days. Like when you do one-on-ones, I coach men and women. But I have a women's coaching group, but I coach both. Go ahead.
Was that you on the first video that told him to wink after you buy the drink?
What's really funny is I was actually asked to be a dating coach by a lads magazine model and her sister many moons ago. Literally just before I met Kelly, I met a lady. Her name was Hadassah Noble. Her sister is a well-known glamour model. And there was talks about me going down to London and helping men learn to pick up women, because it's not about I don't think it's about being mysterious. I think it's about being able to be interesting and being able to hold a conversation.
Just keep this in mind, Alex.
I gotta get Trev in there, y'all.
I know.
Get him in. Trust me. Do you know what? He's the most patient man I've ever met in my life.
Try to regulate a woman's emotions and instead of reacting to a woman's emotion, if you could. That's all I'm saying. Help her.
I will work on that, and thank you for that. I really thank you for that.
Go ahead, Trev.
All right, so I see the point about Steve Harvey, right? Because he's literally on his 3rd marriage, and I would say that that's questionable, to say the least, right? His 3rd marriage. I'm not even down with that one, right? That's just how I feel about it. So yes, she didn't have a proper example to tell her what she should be doing, how to conduct herself, and that's a good reason for part of it, right? However, at the same time, she held herself a little bit accountable, but I see a lot of people really letting her slide. But if you don't know what a calorie deficit is, right, no matter what, you're still going to get fat. If you're unfortunate enough to end up driving in Jersey and you don't know what a jug handle is and you try to make a turn left like a normal human being, you're still going to get a ticket, right? If you aren't getting the results that you want, it's your fault, right? Men understand that issue. Men understand it well. We know that if we aren't getting women the way we're supposed to get women, we go ahead, we hit the gym, we go ahead and we start reading books, we go ahead and we try to get coached, we do better, right? We try to get our money right, get our finances in order, we do better. When women usually say, you know what they say? Oh, we can't find any good men. Where's the good men at? That, to me, means that you have no understanding, like Mr. Lecko was saying earlier, you have no idea of what the sexual marketplace is like. And you're hyping yourself up just a little bit too much, because I see these men. I'm around these men. I know men who are millionaires, right? Millionaires doing everything right. They go to church, a lot of them. Whoever isn't religious, they still have great moral character. They don't have any kids. They're single. We know what the numbers are. Half of black men are single and childless. What are we doing? So it's not to say that they're not available and they're not a bunch of bums out there. If you're not finding them, then you have to question where you're sourcing your men from. What are you looking for? Where are you looking for these men? Because I run into these men who are ready for a wife early in life from 20s, and they still can't get it. And then the second thing you have to think about is when you start heading towards the East, they simply don't have this problem. They are able to find wives and husbands in their 20s. Why is it that we can't do it? Why is it that we have so much of a problem? It's over here. It's the culture. It's people not understanding where they stand in the sexual marketplace. You are overvaluing yourself, because if you're saying that none of these men are good enough for me, then you don't know what you're talking about. You should know where you stand. You don't know where you stand if you think that these men aren't good enough for you, because you are your results. If you're not getting those men, it's you. It's because you aren't good enough for those men. That's the problem.
All facts. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I don't agree 100%.
Of course you don't agree.
Oh gosh.
A lot of what you said I do agree. But did you left out the part where those men still like to play the field? They like to have their options. They like to have their cake and eat it too. Like, I know a lot of millionaire men that don't have children, that are not married, and they're not looking to settle down per se early. They want to have their fun. They want to play. They want to be that self-proclaimed eligible bachelor as long as they can. They're like, okay, you know what? I do want to have kids, so let me find one of them. But a lot of them like to play, and they know that they have access to a lot of women because of their tax bracket, and they want to enjoy that.
Why do people want
I understand that part, but guess what? I'm around a lot of men. Everybody in my family married, right? All my siblings married. Everybody in my circle married. They're able to be married. Everybody's doing it. They don't play around. They weren't playing games with women. They are just married. This is why I'm saying you're in the wrong crowds. You're sourcing in the wrong places. And that's what you have to understand. You have to date with intention. This is what this lady wasn't doing. If she had the mindset that she has now at 41 years old, in her 20s and 30s, she probably would have a man, period. She wasn't dating with intention. Women know how to educate themselves with intention, right? Most educated now, right? You know how to do that. Women are out rolling. They know how to do that, right? The women who want to stay in shape, they know how to. Even if they weren't taught, they're able to do the research and go ahead and do the things that they want to do. They just didn't feel like it was important enough because they didn't value a relationship enough. They didn't value men enough, and that's what the problem is. You start to value it in your 40s, but guess what? Your life went by. It's too late. You were out of the sexual marketplace. You cannot obtain what you used to be able to, and you certainly won't be able to retain them. So at that point in your life, you're going to find dudes who are going to want to do a flyby. All they want to do is hit and quit because that's all they feel you're worth. At that point, you're beyond geriatric presidency. You can't do anything for them. You can't start a family for him. So he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take that risk with you because now it's not a good life.
I have a question. You saw her, right? If you were approached by her, let's say she was dating intentionally, and so was her sister or stepsister, Lori Harvey, which one would you pick in their 20s?
That don't matter because
Lori Harvey. Oh, that matters. That matters. Lori Harvey, 1000%.
No,
but it would be clapping her cheeks, though. I would be clapping the cheeks, and that'd be it.
Okay, so that went to my point. It does not matter.
For
there
sure.
are men who would marry the other one. You saying the one that's not as attractive?
I will marry
Still
her.
get married.
But maybe she wanted the Michael B. Jordan, and only Lori could get him.
She wants a marriage-minded man, not Michael B. Jordan. She can't get Michael B. Jordan, but there's other men that are marriage-minded.
If she's unattractive, she should know she's unattractive, and she should know she may not. I can't say Michael B. Jordan can't marry her, but she should know that she can't get a Michael B. Jordan.
I'm not saying she's unattractive. I'm just saying she's not as attractive as her sister. More men are going to be apt to choose her sister over her. So maybe she wants a guy that's on that level.
More men are going to want to smash her sister, Kelly.
Amen.
Yeah, she has to. At that point, you just have to have confidence in who you are.
Right.
Because everybody can't be born light skinned. Everybody can't be born with the good hair. You know, everybody can't be born with all that. So you have to have confidence in who you are. You have to know who you are, and you have to walk around like that. It's an aura. People meet that before they even meet you.
And
You know,
requirements
energy.
and standards and all. Yeah.
Right. And I think Trev was saying it, maybe Kelly. But as far as the man who wants to still play the field, if you're a woman who is marriage minded, you're able to pick that out sooner than later. You're able to see that sooner than later, unless you get caught up with those men. That means you're not marriage minded because you're not seeing them for who they are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having enough conversations. You're not, really digging deep to really see who they are. You're with the hamster wheel rolling with them.
See, women don't realize how long they stay attached to Pookies. You'll get with a dude, and next thing you know, 4 years don't went past, and now you single for a year or two, and then now you get with another dude. He's trash. You stay with him for 2 years. Now 7 years don't went by, and you don't even notice it. And now it's the men's fault. You picking dumbass dudes and staying with the dumbass dudes.
I agree with that. I think that's probably what she was getting at, and when she's saying that she wasn't making those decisions, because she said that she was marriage minded, but she wasn't making the decisions for marriage. And it's, that's exactly what we do, is being in these relationships where it's going nowhere, but you're still there, and you don't realize it until it's too late. Like how she is 40 years old. And you wasted all that time, but it takes for you to get to be in that age to realize, hey, if I was really working towards marriage, I would have never been in that relationship in the first place. And for some people, they have to go through it to understand it. And I think that's just like the awakening that she's gotten. It sounds like she's just kind of like, oh, I should have been doing this instead of doing this. And by the time you get 41, for some people, I mean, everyone ages differently, but for some people, it's not going to be as easy to get that same type of options, because obviously, she's older. She's not going to have them same options she had when she was 20, 25.
She could still get a man. He's probably just
She could still get a man. I'm never going to say you can't never get a man, because it's people on the street that got a man. It's people on my 600-pound life that got a man. So you could easily get a man, but a man that you want and a man that meets your standards, that's a different thing.
And y'all always forget, y'all got to meet the man standards. Nobody ever talks about that. It's always you got. Well, what about you? You got to meet the man standards.
So you have to be able to.
And I think that's why she's saying, taking those certain actions, because now okay, if I'm gonna be married, what is a husband looking for? What does he want out of a wife? And the same things you were doing when you were young and single, having fun, you're not gonna be able to do that.
Mr. Leko, I'd like you to tell me, what is the man's standards? Did he leave? What is the man's standards for marriage?
I don't have any.
Different men have different standards.
What are yours in this day and age? If a woman wanted to be your wife, what standards does she need to meet?
She would have to be in a position. First of all, she would have to have the capacity to be able to deal with my life. I'm around women all the time, and that can make a woman feel insecure. A woman that has the ability to like have bright ideas. I need a woman that we can just sit around and she's like, yo, what about this? What about that? Like me and my daughters were talking about the next thing I can do with my car games, right? Just little things like that. You know, I love just having poppy conversations about just ideas or whatever. You know, a woman that is just poppy, like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? You know, a woman that isn't just, she's not an attention whore. You know, a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women, they need the likes on social media. They got to show their ass. They got to find a slick way to show their ass. They always want to show their ass somehow, you know. And a woman that doesn't really care about that, you know, because my whole thing is I pay more attention to what a woman says on Instagram than a woman's ass. You know, I think some of these women actually forget that they have a mouth and a face and a voice. They just show their ass and don't talk, right? There's plenty of these women, you go all the way down the Instagram page, they never say a word. That is weird to me. So a woman that actually wants to say something on Instagram or whatever, because she has something to say and not just showing, just that shit crazy to me. So yeah, those are things.
Woman tomorrow, you'll marry her? You'll settle down? If I introduce you to this woman tomorrow, you'll marry her, you'll settle down?
Yeah, depending on how she looks. Because another thing is she has to be in the gym at least 2-3 times a week. She needs to bust her ass in the gym, you know, because we all gain weight. We all end up having the mom bar, dad bar, or whatever. So we got to be in the gym, working on ourselves, because it's not just about losing weight. It's about refining ourselves and make sure we stay looking good throughout the years. That's another thing. Like somebody who has the work ethic as I do, like when it comes to things like that, you know. But yeah, send it to
Kelly,
me.
did you
send a DM.
Kelly, did you want a more universal answer of like what women generally should?
Go
All
for it,
right. Yeah, guys, I know he was very specific with himself, but that's cool. But because you asked him that, but I think you were looking for like a more I don't know, I guess general answer, like what women should do general.
I think men need 5 things to be happy. So you have more than 5?
Probably, but I mean, a lot of them are in line. People who, if you have a certain mind frame, you're probably going to possess the majority of these qualities, right? First off, you have to be cooperative, right? Coachable. If you are those 2 things, they'll lead you into doing a lot of other things, right? You need to be fit. That will absolutely help because men are visual beings. That's a simple one, though. These are things you should already be no matter what, right? There's plenty more. But those are the main things. We don't want anybody who nurturing. That's the most important to me, nurturing. So those are major. So you got cooperative, coachable, nurturing, fit, and I'd say friendly. The other stuff, if you have those, right? If you have those, and I'd say probably empathy, that would be great. But as long as you have the majority of those, if you are coachable, right, and you're cooperative, then you're probably going to want to do something for your man. You're going to want to cater to him, right? You're going to want to say, you know what, let me see what it is that he wants to do. And if you're a nurturer, you're going to take care of most of men's needs. That's the whole thing. If you're coachable, then you'll be able to just jump onto his program. And I'm just going to tell you, most men are going to want to lead. They're not going to want a woman who wants to lead the show. Most of us are not going to do that. Most masculine men don't operate like that. I'm sorry. If you feel like you need a partner, no woman will ever be my partner. It is what it is. Y'all can say what you want about it. A woman is not my partner. She's my wife, and that's it. And we have our own positions. I protect, right? If no matter what, I put my life on the line for you, for kids, whatever. That's just what it is. It's different. We're not the same. We're not equal. I don't expect what I do. I'm going to take on the bulk of the work, the bulk finance. I'm going to make sure you are protected, make sure everybody around you respects you. That's my job. And the things that I asked you, what I just told you, that's her job. We have different roles. There are gender roles in my house. That's just how I feel about it. But, well, again, what I will say is that the most happy females in the world from my personal experience, are the females who are allowed to rest in their femininity. If you are with me, you will be allowed to rest in your femininity. You don't have to worry about how things are billed. You don't have to worry about how to pay a bill. I don't even need you to write checks, because all of my shit is going to be an auto draft, or at the very least, electronic pay. You don't have to do none of that. You don't have to worry about that. I'm going to make sure your life as easy as possible. That's my job, to make your life as easy as possible. And it's your job to make sure my life is easy as possible. That's how I feel about it.
You think that list is universal, or do you think that is the list?
I think that if you possess most of those qualities that I just mentioned, you're never going to have a problem finding a man. Put it that way. I put money to it.
Hey, Kelly, what is your list?
And she has to have a fat ass. Oh, Kelly, just want to say that.
Got it. Okay. So the flat booty girls, one with the disease, no acetol.
That's the let go list. As
long as
Stand in my way. I'm not that big.
Kelly, put it like this: if a woman is small and has a small waist, her ass is going to stick out due to the symmetry of her small waist. So keep that in mind.
Okay. I respect it. Okay.
So Kelly, you said you had 5.
Caucasian men, Asian men, they all will be happy with this list that you gave.
Sure.
Because I meet a lot of Caucasian men who've been married for decades, and they always say, my wife is my partner. And they always say, oh, happy wife, happy life. They always say, as long as she's happy.
That's stupid.
And I say, how do you...
They're probably gay.
I have asked, how do you make
That's
it work?
stupid.
And they'll say...
I had to check somebody yesterday. I'm in the Home Depot. We about to buy a sink for the bathroom or whatever. Dude's like, oh, yeah, she makes the final decision. I said, where? We don't do that on this side. What you talking about, bro? Anytime somebody ever tries, I stop them right then and there. What are you talking about? Why would I have my wife make the final decision? I'm the one who's going to take the stress of it. I'm the one that's going to be putting that bad boy in. Like, what are you talking about? You can't get that. And I correct people every time. Anytime somebody say something stupid like that to me, I check them and let them know they need to do better. No, it's not like that. That's not how I operate. That's not how I operate. You should be happy. Go ahead.
Been married for over...
Happy wife sits her ass down somewhere.
What's the secret to your marriage? How did you make it last for so long? They always say communication, and they say the man always says I take the L on a lot of arguments, so I just let her win.
Why should you be arguing? If y'all both understand the assignment, why would you be arguing a lot?
There's no arguing.
You shouldn't have to argue. There ain't no arguing. We don't like men. Masculine men don't argue with women like that. Like you just like. You'll ignore it. If you want to call it, let them get it. It is what it is. But you don't entertain that. Why would you be on that frequency in the first place? It's not a masculine thing to do. It's not a masculine thing to do.
It doesn't even sound like the real world. So your wife doesn't.
What is this letting her win? Win what?
Your wife doesn't get upset about things.
What is she winning? Win what? Can you explain that? What the hell is that? Let your wife win. Win what? What is she winning?
YouTube. I'm sorry. You're telling me your wives never get upset about things.
Okay, we all get upset. Well,
yeah, women are always going to have emotions.
What does she win when she gets upset? What is the winning?
Like
she wants a prize or something? What?
Okay. So if a lady gets upset, she could be upset, but she don't have to like come off negative. You just let the person know, hey, I didn't like that you did this, and then a good man is just going to be like, okay, and then y'all work it out, and then that's a healthy dialogue.
Because you got a couple times to be all about with some dumb shit. You're gonna have to get out. So you actually gonna win the other side of the doorknob on the outside of the house. Keep talking.
So you mentioned Caucasian men and Asian men, and
now
I think back to like Jeannie Mai, who was married to a Caucasian man who just let her win, right? Mm-hmm. Until they found out that they didn't want the same things in life.
Yep.
And it's known, and I don't know how true it is, but it's known that Caucasian men, Asian men do kind of take emotional abuse from their spouses.
They're a poor example. Their divorce rate is rivals ours. Theirs is just as bad as ours. We can't do that. If you want to use something good, then you use Indians as the example. You know why? Because their divorce rates are the lowest. If that's what you're going to do, use them. And you know what? They don't run a house like that.
But for years, they didn't believe in educating their women. I know in the nicest possible way that it's an okay analogy, but if you go towards the East, genuinely, women are still not in certain countries.
But it's still a fact. It's still a fact for the ones that are here. It's still a fact for the ones that are in the United States. That's what the data suggests. Yes, they work together. This the data. I'm talking about the data within the United States. I understand what happens in the East, but still, even here, the ones that are here in America, they still have the lowest divorce rates, and they are educated if they want to be. They're still working.
And
it's just that they understand the assignments.
They bring the same philosophies from where their heritage comes from, and then they transition that into a more Western society, potentially, yeah.
And they're the most successful, right? And have the strongest communities,
but
right?
I believe we generally apply a
every metric
into a modern way of life.
Because their wives know how to shut the hell up.
But why should they have to shut the hell up? This is what I don't understand. So you guys are happy for potentially your partner to suffer in silence because they have to shut the hell up and not be happy until some point you finally have a discussion about something instead of
why does somebody have to be suffering in silence?
All right, here's the part. You might have missed the part when I was like,
hold on.
The
Alex,
happiest women resting their femininity, right?
Hold on. Alex,
go ahead.
Why does somebody have to be sad or suffering to not be talking?
So if they have to shut the hell up, how can they be talking?
Thank you.
Because they don't have anything to say. Why do they have to be sad when they're not talking?
Because you assume that they have nothing to say, but because their brain is just internalizing it because you've told them they have to shut the hell up, how are they ever going to explain anything or get over anything or even deal with anything? Just ends up as pent up emotion, and it does actually end up in a divorce.
Okay, so
that's how I look at it.
Hold on, it's a figure of speech. It goes back to what Kelly was saying. In an argument, she wins, right? I believe I don't do all that shit, right?
No, an argument you both lose.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, when a woman is argumentative, it will behoove her to shut the hell up with all this arguing stuff. She can talk, she can communicate. It's what Kelly said with the winning of an argument. You got 3 times to try to win an argument with me, and your ass gonna be out the door. That's what I'm saying.
But what happens if you're actually in the wrong? Because if no one's ever able to check you,
wrong,
how will you ever know if you're
argument?
in the wrong?
I would just say, I'm sorry, I was in the wrong.
So that's good, but that means you have to you have to be able to understand that. But if she is unable to get her point across to you because she has to know when to shut the hell up, how are you gonna?
I'm talking about the argumentative side of it.
Okay,
if you argue with me and you don't shut the hell up with your little argument shit, you're gonna be outside.
Okay, so I get what you're saying then. So for example, you guys have a disagreement on something, and then you genuinely, instead of it going on and on and on and on, you're saying you're big enough and ugly enough, not in a horrible way, to turn around and go, hey, I'm wrong. Okay, you're right. That's fine. Or not have it carry on like, blah, 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 blah. You don't want that. You want it to just be like, okay, no, you're wrong in this point, and I'm not going to take it any other way. Or, do you know what? I'm wrong in this point, and we're just going to call it dead there.
I can answer that. The rules of the house or where we're going, like as a couple, is going to be understood. It's almost going to be like on the wall or some shit, right? It's going to be a very understood understanding of where we're going, right? Or what we're doing, right? So as long as we're going in the same direction, because a woman can easily, well, you said this, so why are you talking about that? I'd be like, oh, damn, you're right, baby. I want a woman to tell me my principles to me and remind me like, oh, you said this. And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem.
Okay. So they need to be quick with proving their point.
No, just don't be argumentative with the proving of the point. Because the thing about it is, if you're trying to win against me, see, we're together, we're a team.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
That's kind of that's like a lot. That's like a wide receiver tackling the quarterback. Like, that's crazy, right? Like,
could you explain that?
You do what you do, and I do what I do. And if you miss the ball or if I overthrow you, we come back together, we figure it out. But it ain't no damn arguments on the sideline. We just gotta reconvene and do better next time.
All right, I got a video that Lady Death sent me to play. Gonna cue this up.
Lady Dime, my dyslexia. Every single time I look at you, it looks like it says lady and then the M and the T are mixed.
I feel like you could have been nicer to me.
Oh my gosh, well I feel like you could have done 80 more things today than you did. I feel like I woke up and I cleaned our room, I did our bed, I cleaned the sheets, I did the laundry, I put your clothes away, I come in the kitchen, nothing's done. So I do everything, then I make you breakfast, then I get the baby ready, then I get myself ready. And what do, Michael? You just tell me I could have been nicer. That seems pretty nice to me. And you thought I was pretty nice last night. Super nice. Woo!
Damn.
So I gave it up.
Alex?
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about that? Good
You know
on
what
her
that
for
means?
voicing her opinion. Maybe he should have got up and changed the bed and gave her a rest. Maybe he should have done the dishes, gave her a rest because he was up doing nothing potentially.
Nope.
Yeah. I just look at it that way. If you have spare time and she's upset and she's having a bad day, maybe you should just take that pressure off of her. Just that day. She does it every other day. So just take that pressure off. I don't know.
But that's an example.
Hold on. Let me say something.
This goes right back.
Shutting the hell up.
This is
You
good.
don't
This is
talk-
good.
Hold
you
on,
don't
y'all.
talk
Hey,
to me
that
like
was-
that. You sit your ass down somewhere and you either write it down if you can't talk correctly and hand it to me, and I'll go do the things that you need me to do. But you gonna shut the hell up with all that attitude, or your ass gonna be out the door with the little baby.
All right, hold on, Lady Di wanna say something. Go ahead, Lady Di.
That video was basically to show an example of what women shouldn't do. You can be mad all you want to, but you do not
that
talk
shit
to
in.
nobody like that.
Facts.
Because he responded with damn, right? Because she mentioned that they had a good night. But some men may not respond like that, and you're kind of like aiding him to maybe argue back with you, and now it's gonna be a huge fight.
Yeah.
So him saying damn was just like kind of letting her have the argument, what Alex was saying. But honestly, that's a very toxic relationship. You don't want to talk to your husband like that. I don't
Yeah,
think how
that's-
much
it
right
go-
to figure it out.
It goes back to not understanding the assignment. That's the problem. He didn't understand the assignment. They're supposed to know what their roles are. You shouldn't have to talk about it. I know what I'm supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. That's why I say gender roles. There ain't no taking turns. You do what you do. I do what I do. There's not much crossover. So we don't have to argue about it because I know what I'm supposed to do as a man. I don't need any coaching. I don't need any encouragement. I work on my own. I start myself. I don't need any assistance in getting it going. And neither does my wife. She knows what she's supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. We don't get in each other's way. That's how we cooperate. We both understand the assignment.
So was that understanding discussed in the beginning, or you just came into your marriage like with this symbiotic thought process? Like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. She knows. Or did you have a conversation about your roles?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So what happens is the first thing that you should do when you're searching for your mate is make sure that you're on the same page. You have to talk all the way through. People don't have these discussions. You need to know what that person's credit score is. You need to know how they handle finances. You need to know about their hygiene. I make sure like I could not be with somebody who does not have the same level of hygiene that I do at all. No way. So just everything. We know what our roles are. I say, well, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what you want to do. Boom. We understand everything that we're supposed to do. It has to be communicated. You have to be open. Once you decide that you want to be in a long-term relationship with this person, everything needs to be on the table. Once you two decide that this is where it's going and this is it, I'm with you, you with me, dig it. We are on the same page. This is what I'm going to bring to the table. This is what I need of you, and you're not going to have any issues as long as you understand the assignment. It has to be communicated, though, for sure.
Can you give me an example of what an argument sounds like in your household? Or does it not exist at all?
Don't exist.
Yeah, there's no reason to argue, right? There's no reason to argue. There's no reason to argue. There's disagreements. There's disagreements, right? We might not want to watch the same thing. We might not want to eat at the same place. It might be a couple things that we just don't agree with. And we'd be like, all right, well, you know what? At that point, you can compromise a bit. There's nothing wrong with that. You just compromise or, okay, you got this. All right, cool. All right, forget it. Next time, this is what it is. And that's it. You should be able to resolve any problem easily. I don't like fighting with people, right? If I have to, I'm going to hurt you. But I don't like to fight. I don't like to fight. I don't like to fight verbally. I don't like conflict. I know how to handle conflict, but it's never my go-to. It's never my go-to. There's always a better way, in my opinion. And if you run into another person who thinks like that, there's no reason to really ever fight.
No, I understand that. I just don't like when YouTube conversations are had, but that's not really how it is in real life. In real life, two people are not always going to agree on every damn thing, especially when you live in the house together and you're together all the time. So, like, giving an example, like you said, okay, maybe we don't want to watch the same movie. So you're not like, I am the man I have spoken, we're watching Braveheart tonight. Like, there is some give. That's what I'm saying. It's not always a I have spoken type of thing. Like, the woman has
No, don't get it twisted. See, here's the thing. Like, first of all, I'd be like, yo, what you want to watch? Most of the time, because I'm easygoing. I don't really care. It's not like, we're spending time together. That's what really matters. That's what really matters. We're going to spend time together. So I'll ask you what you want to watch. Okay. Most of the time, if we're about to go see a movie, most dudes pretty much operate like that. Like, they want to make sure that the female is happy on a date, because we don't really care about dates or going out to eat. I could eat home and be the same. That's for real. We don't care about none of that. For real, even vacations, where do you want to go? Because I don't care. I'm very simple. I like to do hot things sometimes, but like, no, that's not really where we care about. We are here to make you happy, really. So we're really just going along with it. So we don't really care like that. It's not that deep to us.
There you go, Trev. Go ahead, Mark. You want to get in there?
I think arguments arise from misunderstood power dynamics and struggles to obtain dominance over the other partner, right? If you're in a relationship where you fully have accepted the role and you're ascribing to a traditional relationship where you're saying this man is my leader, or I'm following in his lead, then the bickering, it can't really exist, because there's nothing to bicker about. If he's doing something incorrect, odds are, if you chose the right type of man, he's going to notice it and self-correct. And if you bring it to his attention, it's not in a way to demean or create a contentious situation. It's, hey, babe, you missed this. Hey, XYZ. And that's not because it's the women are silent and have no voice. Is that it's a way that women approach you when they have the utmost respect for you. And within those relationships, there is no real need to argue. I heard the young man earlier saying, after a couple of days, we'll be arguing. And I think that may come from a place of there not being a clearly defined power dynamic within our relationship. So what tends to happen is it bubbles to the surface, and then the contention starts, because when two people are in a car driving, if they're in the same car, they can turn left or right. But if each person has a steering wheel, when they hit the cross section and they turn in different directions, that's when the conflict begins, because they're both having their hand on the wheel. People have to allow themselves to not try and assert dominance over their partner. If you're in a relationship as a man, it sounds to me like you may be fine with the woman that's dominant, right? Maybe you just might need to fall back and let her lead. If that's the relationship that you want, then you won't have to have all these arguments. For me personally, that's not my thing, but that's my personal experience.
And the number one thing,
thank you for calling me a young man. I appreciate that.
The number one thing is important for women to know is the only time a woman is really argumentative is if she's frustrated, or she doesn't feel safe, or she doesn't believe in where the man is going. So in my marriage, it wasn't a lot of arguments, because she totally understood exactly what we doing, where we going, and everything. My kids grew up in houses, so they always felt, not just my ex-wife, but my kids, everybody felt safe and secure, and they believed in me. So everybody just understood what the direction was, and it wasn't a lot of problems. It was some stupid stuff, but it wasn't arguments. It was mistakes, it was problems, but it wasn't arguments, because it was never this need to be like, let me tell you something, you did, because that's frustration and disbelief of, she never lost belief in me, so she never needed to be in my face trying to argue with me. Does that make sense?
How did she divorce? Why was the divorce happen?
I divorced her.
What? If she had your believed in you and was on your team and was a good mom, and you're still friends.
Early 20s, just wanted to do some other shit.
Grew apart.
It wasn't grew apart. Like, you young, and I didn't get an opportunity to, it's wrong, but I didn't get an opportunity to
Be a hoe.
yeah, be a hoe. I wanted to be a hoe. So yeah. And it was a lot of other shit, but yeah, it was just a lot for a 22-year-old to be married or family and house and all this other shit. It was just a lot of shit. So,
Could have been could have been different at 22.
Say it again.
Could have been different at 22. You could have not had all those things. You're quite lucky to get them. I know it's difficult, but you're quite lucky to get them, to have them, to be able to experience those things at that age. I know you say it was hard and difficult, but it's also a gift.
No, it wasn't hard and difficult.
Oh, okay.
It was a choice.
Okay.
Everything we make is a choice. I'm never going to be a victim of something being hard and difficult. No, it was a choice. That's why I said I made a choice to do this versus do that. It wasn't like something was too hard or nobody was going to die and nothing crazy like that. No, it was a choice.
So you say marriage minded at an early age, and she
Say
was.
again?
You said you guys say women should be marriage minded at an early age, and she was, and then she ended up having kids and got left.
Huh? She's remarried.
Oh Lord. Y'all want to go back to the topic?
Yeah.
Hey, why does it always go to that? Go ahead, Precious. Thank you, Precious. What the hell?
Your story be on blast. But
Shit,
I think that
crazy.
a lot of times when women want to, I don't understand why women want to argue. I think maybe that's a young thing. Maybe, you just haven't gotten out all your frustrations, or maybe that's the environment that you grew up in and you always seeing two people going back and forth, and that's what you're comfortable in. So you feel like you have to insert yourself, or you feel like you have to have something to say. Because as you get older, I don't understand why you would want to argue. Why wouldn't you want to talk it out like adults, come to a resolution, and keep it moving? So yeah, I just
Definitely.
wanted to say that I think that women who like to argue don't have good communication skills, and they don't practice good communication skills, because while men like peace, I believe women like peace too. So I if you still arguing, you in your late 20s, early 30s,
Right.
you
You trash.
gotta do some I don't know, go see a counselor or something where you can have strategies on how to stop your tongue, or stop talking, or sit quietly, or channel it elsewhere. I did a stitch to that video a while ago, and I was saying how, she may be frustrated with those things, but there's a way that you can channel that without having to dump that on a man
Right.
who is, you may be doing all those things, but he's probably risking his life to take care of a family, pay bills, show up as being a father. Like, just because your frustrations are not his frustrations don't mean that he don't have frustrations, but he's not going to dump it on you like that. So why as women do you feel like you can do that to the man? I don't know. I just think it's unbalanced.
We gotta transition to this main topic, y'all. We get to the super chats. AP accountability partner, $5. Mr. Lego, glad you're a good sport. So she has to be a pescatarian. Do you find that out before or after you change your tire? Sorry, JR, that's the last one.
It wasn't.
$5 says, Amanda Lynn, raise your left hand. I just want to see something. Shonda looking all serious. Precious, Kelly, Lady Di, y'all already know. Sweeney, what's going on, brother? 499 says there's a difference between being single but happy and being happily single. Accountability partner, $2 says Mr. Lego had the nerve to say crap and eats. Never mind. Accountability partner, $2 says wait, bad husband equals bad father. Accountability partner, $5, Mr. Lego, fantastic points. I still can't agree on principle, so I agree, Trev, even though y'all made similar points. Anderson, 199 says women overrated sexual monogamy way too much. Rainbow says no, Trev, Simone, let her work. That's her work. Anderson, 199 says black women always bringing up white gas. They sponsor y'all. Ink in the basement, $2 says Alex is a doormat in his relationship. 21 says, hey y'all, Ms. Parker gifted 5 Lapeef Network memberships. Thank you, Ms. Parker. And Enter the Black Dragon, $5 is a problem. Every argument is women feel like they want to break right. Men will take the L and improve, while women never admit fault or take that L. One thing, everybody that's contributed to the platform. Shout out to all my Green Gang and Sanyan One, Ms. Parker, Dale Matthew. Shout out to all y'all.
I don't think we're right.
I'm
gonna say that.
You don't think what?
I don't think men are always right. You guys want to drive and then you don't ask for directions and you go in a circle and you be like, oh. And you
Well, let us go into a circle, and if you don't approve of how we're driving, leave us alone and go be with somebody else. Because that's your only way of being able to find out if he can actually lead you, by leaving him alone to his own devices. And if he screws it up, you see he's the wrong guy for you. See?
No, I think that you guys always talk about men leading women, but some men don't even know how to lead themselves.
Okay, they don't need no woman.
A passenger seat with a guy that don't know what he's talking about.
Don't be on the passenger seat is what I'm saying, Kelly.
And there may even be scenarios where the man doesn't know as much as the woman, but you want her to sit in silence and be quiet when she could actually assist, but not be a partner.
But why is a woman with a man that she knows more than? Why don't she?
I'm saying when you're born, you're not gifted with knowledge of everything. Maybe she learned some things that he didn't learn, and she could assist him in areas, but you just want her to sit, rest in her femininity, and be quiet. That
It's still a way to. It's still a way to go about it where you can respectfully inform somebody of something that does not require you to belittle or argue with them.
I agree.
You can glean something from anybody in life. I'm not saying because women are not in charge or should not be the leader of the relationship that they don't have anything valuable to say, because you can offer a very valuable perspective, right? But what we were talking about was strictly along the context of creating arguments within a household, and those are counterproductive to maintaining the household. And
an example of an argument I had.
Hold on, Kelly. I don't think it was finished. Go ahead, Marcus. I don't think Marcus finished.
She's arguing now.
I'm sorry, it may have glitched. I thought you were
No,
done.
it is crazy.
Yeah. No,
the man
you
is
can go.
speaking so eloquently, and she want to argue with the damn man.
Yeah. No,
It may have glitched. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought though. You can respond.
Yeah, I lost my
appreciate
train of thought too, bro. I get it.
All right, go ahead.
Marcus ain't used to that.
I'm gonna an actual real life conversation. When my son was born, doctors wanted to give him vaccination shots immediately in the hospital. I wanted to take time to do research on it and see exactly what was going in his body. And after I did all my research, I spoke with his father about it. And I said, hey, what do you think about this? The doctor wants to vaccinate, and these are my concerns. And then he was like, well, if the doctor says do it, then just do it. And I was like, well, this is what I found out, this, and this is what's in them. This is what, possible repercussions. And he was just like, I don't know why we're still talking about this. I already said, just do it. I have spoken. So I'm just supposed to possibly put my child in jeopardy because you didn't have the conversation.
That's a difference. That's important too. But the context is that's a baby daddy, and y'all in two different households. That's an important conversation to have. But that's kind of like not what we're talking about. We're talking about a couple, because if y'all were still in the same household and y'all were together,
we were.
Now it's a philosophy thing. Do we do the vax or do we not? Right? And it's a philosophy thing. So if we're pro that, then it's pro that. And if you don't like it being pro that, now it's a conversation that needs to be had. But it's still not going to be an argument, because that's an important conversation when what goes into your child. So I agree with you on that. And if the doctor said do it, well,
without any conversation. This is the
right.
kind of stuff that can come up that is important. And I don't like to act like arguments don't happen, disagreements don't happen. No, it doesn't have to be a fight, but there can be two people that have two different views on a thing. So how is that handled in a marriage?
Go to the mediator, go to your father, Go to his father, go to somebody and just say, okay, hey, looks like we have two, because that's a belief system right there. That's like celebrating Christmas versus not celebrating Christmas. Who's right? One person doesn't believe this and another person believes that, you know, so you got to go to a mediator, your dad, his dad, and be like, okay, look, I do not believe in all this V word stuff. And he says, just do it. And I don't want to do it, but I don't want to undermine my household. Where do we go from here? And then you got a mediator that will actually that cares about both of y'all and will be able to give you, you know, something to
but also too in that situation, both people have to be understanding. So whenever you guys are having that dialogue, it has to be understanding, because if you're articulating a good point, then that person has to be able to receive it or understand what it is, and then kind of figure out which side you want to be. Do you want to be more on the side of risk because these are the potentials, or do you want to just go ahead and take the chance? You know, then you got to start looking at pre-health, if you have any pre-health things that you have dealt with before. So
not even listen to the possibilities because he's the man.
Well, that's comes down with choice at that point.
Well, that's problematic.
That was ignorance, what you're talking about. That's
ignorance. Yeah, I think that's too much. The way that we came up with our decision, we did our research together and made our decision based off of that, right? So if you practice that type of thing, I know you had those special circumstances, but you know, in the realm of couples situations, you do your research together, you're probably going to come up with the same outcome, right? You'll have a similar belief system. And that's why I said in the very beginning, it was extremely important to have the same type of value system. We're usually on the same page with most of that stuff. I don't even have to really ask like what she thinks about it, because it's like, okay, I already know she with the shits or no. Like, I don't have to think about that. Like we're that intertwined where we know what our values are. So there's not crazy decisions or, oh no, I don't like that. Or no, I don't, you know, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why in the very beginning, once you decide you're going to make somebody your wife or your husband, try to make sure you are on the same page with values. That's extremely important, because a lot of arguments come up with that. Make sure you have the same value system.
Okay, we got to transition. Alex, go ahead real quick.
I just wanted him to pass it. He's not passing it over. Oh, sometimes nothing. It's a weird one. Obviously, you said you'd go to a mediator, someone who you'd speak to. And I know you said you'd go to her dad or your dad. Why wouldn't you go to her mom or your mom?
We're not gonna go no women about nothing. We're gonna go to the men about something. What are you talking about?
My mom is a viral scientist, and she gave me so much information on vaccines. It's unreal. But if I hadn't spoke to my mom about
because she's a viral scientist.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what. So I couldn't ask my dad that, could I? I couldn't ask my dad that though, could I? So if
she's a viral scientist, yes. But if she's not a viral scientist, you go to the man. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay, but I guess why? I don't get why you go to the man if what you do is you go to the best source. I would.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No reason. I don't know. Okay. See, I'm not gonna argue with him.
No, that's good. That's fine. You don't. I'm not looking for an argument.
You're right, Alex.
I'm not right.
Go to the woman.
Go to the person who has the most information, like you say. I guess
they're smart. They know more.
Yeah. Yeah, what she said. She's right too. Kelly's right too.
Okay. All right, so hit that like button also. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's time to get into the main topic of the night, which is rejection sensitivity. Rejection sensitivity. I got a clip that I'm gonna play. I kind of compiled some footage, and we'll go ahead and have this conversation. Y'all ready? Y'all good? Lady Di, you good? Okay. All right, here we go.
About rejection sensitive dysphoria. I don't really think it's brought up enough, and I've run into so many people with ADHD who deal with this. Basically, what it is you just feel like someone is doing something to personally reject you, even if that's not how it's meant. If you're trying to talk and someone talks over you at a party and people don't notice, that means that you suck. If someone hires someone other than you, it's a personal thing, and it means you suck. If someone doesn't text you back in 5 seconds, they're mad at you and you suck. Fact is, you have to try to remind yourself that most of the time, what you're feeling is just your feelings. It's not the truth. People are often focused on their own shit.
So rejection sensitive dysphoria is a condition that can make it difficult to manage rejection. But more to that is characterized by an intense emotional response to perceived rejection or criticism. Now, it's not uncommon for people with RSD to experience feelings of shame, embarrassment, even worthlessness in response to even minor setbacks or negative feedback. And what happens then? Well, it can lead to social withdrawal, anxiety, depression, and many other challenges and issues. Critically, RSD is actually commonly associated with autistic people and those with ADHD. But why? Well, it could be, and it's said to potentially be put down to the challenges we have with things like social communication and interaction as autistic people, our difficulties in interpreting social cues, which all can lead us open and vulnerable to rejection or perceived rejection.
Rejection sensitivity. I think every one of us with ADHD knows what that is. And if you don't, or if you love someone with ADHD and have never dealt with that before, it's essentially the feeling that somebody is turning you down or is rejecting you when they're really not. It's this expectation of people rejecting you just because you grew up being rejected a lot. People with ADHD grew up as kids who were considered quote unquote weird, right? Or they were told a lot that what they were doing was wrong or strange, or they were regularly made to feel as if no one would accept them or love them. And so because of that, we automatically tend to try to go after, I shouldn't say go after, we tend to try to head off that rejection that we're expecting at the pass by rejecting the people before they reject us, or trying to find the rejection before it happens. The only problem is it's not always happening. And so it can make things really awkward. It can get in the way of relationships, friendships. You never really know. So I have dealt with rejection sensitivity disorder my entire life as well. And before I even knew what it was, I remember dealing quite often with feeling literally that feeling of being quote unquote alone in a crowded room, right? Just kind of feeling like somebody would speak over me while I was trying to make a joke. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll go die then. And, it was never that serious. It was never that major, but I made it feel that major to me. And after learning about ADHD, after learning about rejection sensitivity dysphoria, I have since gotten very good at dealing with it. I want to make that clear that I'm saying I've gotten good at dealing with it, not at beating it. There is no beating rejection sensitivity disorder. There's no getting rid of rejection sensitivity disorder. Really the best that you can do is get really good at reframing it when it happens.
All right, sorry about a long clip, but rejection sensitivity. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna go to you first, Marcus. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
So I'm not a clinician, so I don't know exactly what that diagnosis is. But if I was just to take it at face value, I would say I think we're in an era where people don't have as much interpersonal relationships and interactions. A lot of stuff is through a camera, through Facebook, through Instagram, IG, etc. Right? So we don't deal with the rejection the same way that we did growing up. And I think similar to relationships is learned skills, right? So as a young man, we used to play games to try and talk to girls, right? So you knew you was going to strike out, you knew you was going to win, right? But you got used to understanding and being able to accept the rejection and not internalize it and make it something that's not within you. What it sounds like from what the young lady was saying was she's placed herself into a place where previously to her having the tools to cope with it, she was seeking external validation, and when she didn't receive it, it was negatively affecting her personality. And I always try and talk against allowing yourself to be validated from the external. When we were talking about everything coming from within, I truly believe that once you're secure and intent with yourself, how other people feel about you is not as big of a concern to you, because you got you. Like if I was to be rejected, like when she said reframing, it's essentially what I've been doing since I was a child, right? If a girl was to reject me, I wouldn't be like, throw a brick. No, I would be like, oh, she just missed her beat. Could have been the best thing of her life. That's your loss. Because I'm reframing that choice in my mind. I'm not allowing it to define me as me not being worthy because of that person. People make bad decisions all the time. So if you missed me, you missed your beat. That's just how that shit go. That's how I feel about it. But yeah.
All right, go ahead, Precious.
Yeah. Happiness is an inside job, so if you're thinking because someone cut you off while you were talking that they're rejecting you, and then she was like, I'll just go and die. Like Marcus said, I'm not a clinician, but
just go die.
You can't.
That's the case.
Come on, let go.
What about no time to be worried about no goddamn non-autism person whining about somebody rejecting them? If they got autism, that's a different story.
Right, because I think, some things mentally, if you don't have it, or if if you don't have any education with it, you're not privy to what's going on with them. But what I was gonna say is she said that she reframes and, does things to manage it, but she can't beat it. You can beat anything. You can, it just seems like she doesn't have the full capacity of self-awareness or self-confidence to do that. So yeah, I didn't really like it sounded like a lot of
bullshit.
Negative. Like I always say, I like to travel light. She sounded really heavy. Like I felt like, I just felt like yeah, she just doesn't have the willpower to beat it. And that can come from the people that are around her, who she surrounds herself with, because obviously she needs help with it. So, if you're around people that don't understand you, who can't relate to you, then yeah, you're going to feel like you're alone on an island. So if you have those issues, you need to surround yourself with people who are also struggling with the same thing. So you guys can come together and have a community that you can actually lean on, and not feel so alone.
Go ahead, Alex.
Ooh, I didn't expect to be.
I know you did.
Hey, nice, very nice of you. I didn't even know it was a thing. Thanks for introducing me to this. I then Googled it. Didn't really find much on the NHS website or anything in the UK about it. I know you guys are a lot more further ahead with mental health, obviously therapy, all that sort of stuff. It's not something that's even really talked about in the UK. We still bury mental health in the sand, and we're only just catching up. I'm 35. I've waited nearly 11 years for some sort of counselling. So yeah, that was quite interesting. And like Marcus, I have always used my weirdness as a dickhead barrier. So if people don't like me, that's their fucking issue, not mine. And I've saved myself a massive heartache and a massive load of stress because they've already made that amazing decision for me that I'm not worth their time. So great, off you fuck. That's how I've lived my life. And yeah, it's never really, rejection and stuff has never really bothered me. And I'm waiting an ADHD diagnosis at the moment and stuff like that. Life is life. Yeah, I do believe that you just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, recycle yourself a little bit more, hopefully.
Motherfucker. Go ahead, Lady Di.
I honestly, with that, I want to blame her upbringing, her parents. If you don't understand that your child has an issue with talking and being quote unquote rejected in the sense of, she's getting cut off, or, there's many different scenarios you could say with that. Parents got to do a better job of paying attention to their kids, because it's something that could have helped her with early on. A lot of those things you learn when you're a child. And, when you become an adult, you practice it by yourself, and then you got to work on it and make it better. But if no one is correcting you from when you were little, then the issues are going to become so serious to where she's like, oh, let me go die. Like that's very extreme. So that means that she didn't have nobody helping her. And it's sad, honestly. But, we become adults and we have to learn how to do stuff on our own. So then that becomes her, being accountable for her actions. I'm glad she's able to get or notice that she needs help and she's trying to work on it. But I do think it's an insecurity thing as well. I'm not sure if she's diagnosed with something or not, but if she's not diagnosed with something, then it's more just her being insecure. She thinks that she has to be, the center of attention all the time. and you're in a world full of people. That's impossible. Even on the panel, there's no one like that's like me being like, well, it has to be about Lady Di all the time. No, it doesn't. We got so many people here that wants to speak. So that means that she's kind of selfish and she doesn't even know it.
You got anything on you get the chance?
All right, I'll go. If a person has trouble interpreting things like facial expressions, tonality due to autism, that's one thing, and that's understandable because that's part of what autism is. They have a problem interpreting facial expressions and what a person is actually conveying to them. But these damn people are literally trying to parallel themselves to autistic people. And I don't know if y'all seen that. And this is what a lot of dysfunctional people like to do. It's like, for example, if a woman is overweight, right? She'll say, well, some women have thyroids, but that woman doesn't have thyroids. So what does thyroids have to do with this if you don't have thyroids, right? So that's something that a lot of women love to do. They try to parallel somebody else's issue with their issue to make it seem like they may have the same issue. But in their verbiage, you can see that they don't have it because they would just say, I have it, right? So these people aren't autistic. These people are simply using autism as an excuse to be narcissistic. Because the bottom line is, if you don't have an acceptance of another person's freedom to choose and another person's autonomy, you are a narcissist. And the definition of narcissist unofficially is a very unhealthy sense of importance. So when you're trying to talk to somebody and they talk over you and you feel like, I want to die, you're a narcissist, ma'am. You don't have autism because you would have said you had autism. You're a freaking narcissist. So a lot of people love to parallel somebody else's issue with theirs in order to make excuse for being stupid or narcissistic.
Well, she said autistic or ADHD. Those are the people who carry out these traits of what is it? Rejection sensitivity. And with autism, like I have an autistic cousin, and I can see how that can be the case. I can definitely see how that can be the case because you could just take things in the wrong manner because you don't have the awareness, the people skills. You know, you're very awkward around people. You're very quiet around them. So you may think that if they're talking or whispering, they might be talking about you just because you are insecure in that way. You can't blend in like everyone else. You know that, you have an issue with that. ADHD to me is, more of a hyper, person. And I think even with that, as far as the rejection sensitivity, I don't know how that correlates with those who have ADHD. I'm not quite sure how that correlates, but when she talked about being autistic, she wasn't autistic. She had ADHD, but she said that there are parallels between the two when it comes to rejection sensitivity.
In order to make an excuse for being ignorant. That's what people do. You say something about a woman's weight, the first thing they're going to be like, well, some women have thyroids. What the hell that got to do with you? Do you have it or do you not? If you do have it, I'm not talking about you. But if you don't have it, why do you sit here trying to parallel yourself with somebody with an actual health disorder? That's the shit that women do to make excuses to keep doing dumb shit.
If I had to guess, maybe why she was having an issue with ADHD, before she gave her reason, because I don't, like I say, I'm not in this field, so I don't know. But when she like, so I think part of that is your thoughts racing, right? And you not being able to stay consistently on one thing while you're jumping around from thought to thought. You can snowball yourself into a thought process and then jump further and further and further into that hole possibly of negativity by thinking like, oh, they're thinking about me. I said something stupid. Oh no, people are judging me. What do they think about? And keep digging and digging and digging and not have the tools to reframe and pull yourself up out of there. That's just my guess though, if I was to guess.
That makes sense.
No, but there are some, I agree with what you're saying, but there are some people who really have a mental issue. You ever seen someone with a mental issue, like for real in real life? And I'm not talking about autism. You know, we're talking about bipolar, schizophrenia. Like, this is a real thing. People are going insane in real life, and there's really nothing anyone could do. So that's why I don't want to talk about them, because that's different. But people who are using terms, she didn't say she was diagnosed. So people who are using terms and say, well, these are the reasons. Like, no, just grow up. Grow up and know that it's not about you. You'll be okay.
Okay. Kelly, what are your thoughts about it?
I don't have anything to say on the topic.
You have anything to talk about rejection sensitivity?
Nope.
Okay.
I've had a chance to go.
Okay, go ahead, Trev.
Okay, so I could certainly relate to this particular topic because I deal with it firsthand. I have to help manage that situation. I'm familiar with autism. I'm familiar with ADHD. I can tell you that 50% of people who have autism just about have ADHD. I don't think the lady in the video was playing because from what I gather, it looks like she was literally stimming at the time. And that means you have involuntary body movements. And I mean, it's a serious matter. It's a neurological disorder, for one. So it would be equivalent for someone to say, hey, look, you know, yeah, you can beat it or you could stop it. It would be equivalent to telling someone with MS, which is also a neurological disorder, to stop shaking. That's pretty much what you're doing. The way that they process things is completely different, and it's a neurological disorder. So it's beyond your control, right? You can't do anything about it. It would literally be equivalent. And you would never tell a person who has MS to stop shaking. That's pretty much equivalent to telling them, hey, you have to do better. Not to say that there aren't things that you can do to kind of mitigate what's going on. You can certainly have them pretty disciplined. As far as their awareness, as far as them being social, it takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more work. It's an extremely difficult thing to deal with, right? Because it's hard to manage. When you have a person who doesn't process things in the same manner, then it's almost impossible to get the outcome that you desire because they won't receive anything the same. And that's not only the thing that's sensitive. Rejection sensitivity is one thing. Everything is sensitive, right? Emotionally, and even like a lot of people with autism are sensitive to sounds. So you can flush the toilet and it can drive somebody crazy. So it's just a tough thing to deal with. As far as people who would dare use that as an excuse, then shame on them because it ain't funny, it ain't cool. If and I understand what rejection's like. I mean, I dealt with that as a child, but it's actually part of what made me me. If I would have taken it differently, it probably would be bad. But rejection actually helped build me as a man because it made me realize that I had to improve. I am so happy that I was able to be rejected as a younger man because I wouldn't have been able to improve. I would have thought everything was cool and I wouldn't have put in the work that I did. I said, you know what? I'm not going to blame women because there's other guys that are getting these same women that I'm not. So you know what? That means that I'm doing something wrong and I need to improve. And I improved on that. So, I mean, that's the best thing you can do with rejection. It should just be used as motivation as long as you can control it. That's the most important thing for you to do is just to try to get better at whatever it is that you're losing at. And you're going to be rejected. It's part of being a man, especially because people don't have sympathy for men. Right? They don't care about men. It is what it is. They don't care about us. They don't care about our feelings. They don't care about what happens to us. we have to rough it. And it's an important part of being a man. That's our reality. And if we're not willing to face it, then it's going to be a cold world out there. So hopefully you get some rejection when you're young, and it helps build you into a greater man.
I appreciate your response, Trev.
Man, walking up to
I appreciate you appreciating.
Walking up to girls back in the day when you ain't got no hair on your face, and they like, "How old are you?" You know, it puts hair on your face. You know, it puts hair on your chest. So
I wish it did. I wish it did.
Well, it just depends on how you perceive things. So it's like not being able to lift 250 pounds. You can either not lift it or keep trying to lift it. You feel me? So at the end of the day, did the 250 pounds reject you?
No, your body rejected it, didn't it?
No, you just weren't strong enough. So you got to work on being strong enough and then go back and try to lift the 250 pounds. Just same thing with a woman. So it's how you interpret it.
You lifting a 250-pound woman?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I literally was thinking that.
You got to lift the 250 pounds.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I like
But
it.
yeah, you gotta look at rejection like lifting weight. Is the weight on the barbell rejecting you? No, you're just not strong enough yet. So you just gotta kind of like work on things so you can get back to, you know, what you can be able to do and figure out what you're capable of. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you. And then Trev, you said ADHD is autism?
I did not. I said just about half of the people who have autism also have ADHD.
Okay.
Neurodivergence.
And I did say if a person has autism, I that's a totally different thing.
Well, no, I wasn't responding to you in general. Yeah, no, I just was explaining just because I'm familiar with the topic.
I just think it's really messed up to parallel autism with your issues.
Absolutely, and that's what I said. That's why I said shame on you for anybody who would dare do that, because that, you know, that's weak.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. So I got some questions about that too.
No doubt.
Go ahead, Marcus. You want to say something? Oh, okay. It's your specialty. All right.
I did want to say this though. When it comes to autism and ADHD, I know sometimes in Black families who are religious, spiritual, whatever, they will try to pray those things away. And I think in those situations, you need God and someone who is well versed in that area, because certain things you just can't pray away. I don't know, and you know, I believe in God and I'm a believer in things like that too, but you have to use wisdom. And so when you have a child, I think it's I'm speaking to what Lady Di was saying. When you have a child that does have autism or ADHD, or maybe you don't know what's going on with them, it's important for you to lean into that. It's important for you to get the information, to get the facts, to know what that comes with, so you're not just oblivious, just, you know, having your child every day and not really tapping into what's going on with them. So, you know, if you're going to have God, that's cool, but you need a professional. You need someone who's also going to look into it and walk with you within that journey, because your child is going to need that, you know. And as an adult who may not have it, but your child now has it, they're going to need you.
All right. Get to these super chats real quick. Hank in the basement, $2 says, shout out to Alex for the sore thumb of the panel. Miss Parker, 199, says she may be at best socially awkward and overthinking. Hank in the basement again, said Mr. Lego acts like a child with Tourette's. Tourette, okay. Appreciate that. AP accountability partner, $2 says for Alex, fidget spinner fun. Hank Link in the basement, $2. Alex look like he's ready for some sugar booger. And Fatima 199 says rejection builds character.
What is sugar booger?
I don't know. Hank, what's sugar booger?
Cocaine. That's called is booger sugar. It's cocaine.
Is he trying to tell me I'm tired, or is he trying to tell me what? It is like 6 o'clock in the morning here, and I haven't been to bed yet since yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's not. It's 5:30 a.m.
Yeah, I appreciate you staying on that.
Oh mate, don't worry about it. I'm not even tired. And no, I don't take cocaine because that's not good for you. So like, I do genuinely fidget a lot, but no, I'm not. I'm not. God. And you, you funny guy. Unless he wants to supply the sugar booger, because then I can give him an address and he's more than welcome to send it over. I'll stop now.
Yeah, that's
no soliciting.
It's been a great show.
I don't do that anymore, Alex. So I don't have any.
Okay.
Good lad. Like this. Is this because you got older and wiser, or is it you just decided?
I think Mr. Let Go been up since 6 a.m. yesterday too.
Who?
You saying I'm on the booger sugar too? Yo, Precious been throwing shots all night.
Oh dear. I want whatever Marcus was up to. Oh, he's drinking. Is that a drink?
Yo, that's gross. You
Marcus,
drink soda, bro?
ad out
You should be drinking grape. That's my favorite.
I stopped soda, but even though I still vape, I dropped soda like 5 years ago.
12 o'clock at night.
What is that, Alex?
What's this? This would be your
sugar booger water.
It's water. It's water mixed with peach juice and sugar. Whatever that is.
That's the biggest hell. What kind of bottle is that?
It's a 5 liter.
What to say? It was like a clean and supply bottle. Like, what's going on?
That man been drinking
Refill
Greek
bottle.
for the last 2 hours.
Yep. And then wait, no, it's mixed with you gotta have it all.
Oh, what's that?
That's the
Fruit
juice
and
that goes
barley.
it's fruit and barley peach juice that goes in my
I ain't
water.
never seen that in the supermarket.
I'm from the UK, so I'll have to send it over.
Ship some.
I will. You can sell it to
Ain't
everyone.
gonna make it through customs if it's healthy.
I'll check. Nah, sugar free, you screwed.
Well, it's been a great show, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Alex. Thanks to everybody on the panel.
Gotta come back.
Yeah.
Alex, come back.
Yeah, shout out to Alex, man. You good? You cool?
I'm deceptively old. That's what it is.
You got to do that one-on-one with me because you know the anxiety thing.
More of Alex, we're gonna be doing a show called Human on my channel.
Well, our channel, my channel, your channel.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, I'm gonna do a show. I want you to come on. It's going to title Booger Sugar.
Yes, the Booger Sugar Doormat. That's what it should be called. Don't forget to blow your nose on the way in.
Alex, your channel right here. What you have?
What?
Alex Frisbaum Dearden. Is that your channel? People want to go follow you.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to find me. I had to log in through my YouTube. But yeah, don't worry. There's not much up there yet, but there will be as I get into it all, because it's quite interesting, and I have unique views on the world. We all do, and you know, like you guys want to share yours. I think some of mine I should be shared, and some should be kept to myself.
There you go. All right, especially we support each other on the panel, man. Make sure you follow everybody. Let's make sure we make it happen and show up and show out when we do. With that being said, I just want to thank you guys again for your perspectives and another great show. If you just tuning in, you missed a great one, go ahead and catch the replay. And I want to say thank you on behalf of the Lapeef Network. We out. All right, y'all. Hit that like button on the way out. Thank you guys again. Be safe out there.